And testing, Dave, can you hear us?
Loud and clear, Mr. Sod,
Perfect.
of the feckless kind.
That is funny, I have to say. I don't need my glasses.
Is everybody ready? Are we all set? Megan, was Leslie online? In a minute, okay. I'm gonna call the meeting to order for January 12th. Is that the date? I actually forgot. My brother's birthday was Saturday. Mine's next Saturday. I'm getting mixed up. Amazing. I'm on. Yeah. Can you hear me? Okay. I want to call the meeting to order. Planning board meeting for January 12th at Fort Fairgrounds, Public Safety Facility. Roll call. I'm going to have a roll call. Joe is not going to be here tonight. So Dave Iverson.
Here.
Okay. And John is not here, right? Oh, okay. Hillary.
Here.
Okay. And alternates is everyone on? Because we're going to probably need some possibly. Steve.
Here.
Abby.
Here.
Okay. And Howard. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. Staff, Megan Trudell and Leslie will be in here in a few minutes.
Yep.
Catherine Sincero and William Sod here behind the ever important screen. Let the record reflect that we have a quorum. Before we begin, I'd like to remind everyone of the meeting procedures. Please wait to be recognized before speaking. All comments should be directed to the chair. Please state your name, and we ask that everyone remain respectful and allow each speaker to finish. Okay. With that said, I accept the motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Dave, you there?
Yeah, I said, no, I'm sorry. I seconded it.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yeah.
All those in favor, Dave,
Aye.
Hillary,
Aye.
the chair votes aye. Thank you. Is there any public comment for items not on the agenda? Hi, Campbell. Good evening.
Hi, Nat. Good evening, everyone. Campbell Sutton. I just wanted to let you know that at the last select board meeting, I did make a comment about not having a quorum present. I just don't find that Zoom is an appropriate connection. It doesn't always work. You can't always hear the people, but I just wanted to let you know that I had made that comment. Okay.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Minutes of December 8th. I've been asked if we could continue these minutes till the next meeting. Is that
Motion to continue.
everyone good with that? Okay.
Second.
And you made by Hillary. Dave,
Second.
second that.
Yeah.
Thank you. All those in favor, Hillary,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. Thank you. Okay. Staff, the Tacoma Green Workforce Rental Community. I just want to give us a little update on that. Or
Matt, do we need to
this
make a
is just
motion
to
to
reaffirm
approve the
the-
agenda?
Dave, you're not muted.
Do we need to make a motion to approve the agenda, Nat?
I think we didn't we do that?
We
already?
did
do
that. I think you've.
Dave, is there
yes.
any way you could not sound muffled? Is that possible?
Am I still
Not saying-
sounding?
sometimes some people sound really clear and other people
Yeah.
don't, and I don't have the technological answer to that. I can
Am
just
I super muffled right now?
that's a little better.
All right, I'll just try moving closer to my computer. I'm
Because we're
sorry.
a little short here. I just don't want to miss what you're saying. So
No, I got you.
thank you.
Yes, sir.
So go ahead. Billy.
This was to reaffirm the board's vote at the December 8th meeting. We
Okay.
added this item within 48 hours of the meeting and wanted to just make sure that you all follow through at this meeting with it properly noticed.
Okay. Does anyone want to comment or make a motion?
Make a motion to, what is my motion?
Reaffirm?
To reaffirm the vote from
December
December 8th, 2025.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second,
All those in favor? Hillary,
Aye.
Dave,
aye.
chair votes aye. Thank you. Okay, staff, we're gonna have a discussion on the Board of Health septic regs.
Yes.
Hmm,
So, Mr. Chair, we just wanted to bring these to your attention. The Board of Health is proposing fairly substantial septic regulation changes, and, weighing in on those types of changes generally isn't something that the planning board would get involved with. But these could have implications to housing and, well, most particularly housing and just general impacts to property owners that, may be
Yeah.
difficult for year-round people to manage. So I believe they're scheduled to discuss these again later this month. And they have two changes proposed, one for the Hummock Pond watershed, one for the Wellhead Protection District. In particular, the wellhead is where, the master plan sort of focuses on infill development because that's where all of the infrastructure is for the most part. And just to sort of hit on the main changes, there would now be inspectional requirements for septic systems that are not in place now. That's an added cost to homeowners. There would be upgrades that would not be in effect right now necessarily. And then there are changes to conventional systems versus IA systems. And their changes, I believe, are intended to remove the possibility of additional bedrooms through an IA system. And you may recall the Board of Health, the Planning Board, the HDC, and the Select Board had a meeting some months ago to talk about a variety of things, but the main focus, as I recall, was on housing, costs to housing, barriers to the creation of housing. And, these added septic regulations would have a significant monetary impact on owners that could be prohibitive for the creation of more year-round or attainable units or even affordable units. So this is something that we wanted to bring to your attention. We thought it may be something that you want to discuss and perhaps send a letter to the Board of Health.
So anyone want to, I have lots of stuff to say about this, but do you want to say something now? I don't want to speak for everyone else.
Go ahead, Nat.
First of all, again, this is where we've come so far with septic, and now it's like we're talking like it's 30 years ago with IA. And I think that, using a system that's this expensive and this environmentally friendly, or at least allegedly was, to control growth through those is wrong. Okay. If this is where we get into the analysis of zoning, how much we've reduced build out. And the old R20 in Hummock Pond, I've never stopped thinking about. We got the VR out there. We did get rid of quite a bit of building that was possible out there, but that zoning that was there originally from the mid 70s was kind of an anomaly, how that R20 ran all the way out to the pond on the right side. But with that said, I think we need to have joint meetings about this. I don't think we should be talking about this in a way that isn't collaborative, like we did with the recent meeting we had at the trailer. That was a good meeting, even if I don't agree with some of the things that are said. It doesn't matter. This is what we need to be doing. Okay, there's a lot of new people on the Board of Health, people that weren't involved in the past, at least not to my knowledge. I think Nantucket getting off the sewer list needs to happen. I've voiced that to others numerous times. Getting that out of everyone's mind will help some of this fear of more building, because we've already fixed the zoning in Nantucket. But if sewer went out there, that'd be a different story. I think the costs to locals who are trying to help year-round residents, keep their property before they sell it or stay here, etc. And this is going to make things more expensive. And there's a lot of things that are costing a lot of money now, especially house insurance that has gone through the roof if you don't have an old house. So I just think we need to have a more of a joint meeting scenario with this stuff, because there's no way that we can talk about it in the same way that others can, this venue. So that would be my comments. Anyone else? Oh, okay, you want?
Oh,
I'd just
Hillary,
like
you okay
to,
with her talking now?
sure.
Okay, go ahead.
yeah, this is just a point
go
of,
ahead. Sorry.
a point of information, Campbellson again. So at the select board meeting, the housing authority or the fellow
You talking about,
was there, and
Yeah.
they're asking for a
Dylan,
letter of
Amber Allen.
variance. So I'm just thinking there's some overlap here, and it might be good to find out what letter is being proposed that the select board sign
What-
before you make a decision.
Well,
But
that's
to your
kinda what I'm
point, to
saying.
trying to
Yeah.
get all the boards together and understanding at the same
I mean,
level. So
that's what I'm saying, is
Yeah.
this collaborativeness. We have to find a way to not act like this is 30 years ago. We've come a long way with everything.
well, and when
Water
it's something
expansion,
like this,
Sewer expansion.
it should be a
I-
global conversation.
Yes,
Right?
Agreed.
So, but I just wanted, before anybody got
Yep.
too far thinking someone wasn't on it, just wanted to give you some
Okay.
information.
Yeah, so I appreciate both of those comments, and if the point is that the direction of the board is in favor of not sending our own letter, I support that. But I also think that this might be an ideal topic, an appropriate topic for a regional planning agency to take up, because we have representatives in that group from environmental regulation, environmental planning. And we have housing representatives. We have, of course, our regional planning agency director. And the water issues are a regional issue. The Cape Cod has had major problems with their septic and deferring sewer to the point where they've had all sorts of fines and they've been sued. So there are a lot of resources, and the EPA has revolving loan programs, grant programs that it makes available only to regional planning agencies. So we would be in a perfect position to apply for these sorts of things. So in general, I listened to the select board meeting. I support the idea of the nitrogen bans and the kind of more well-defined standards-based approach to the IA system, what it is, having more guidance based on how much nitrogen it reduces. And I support this push to eliminate nitrogen, get nitrogen out of our waterway and out of our ponds, because nitrates cause cancer. But I also support and would promote the idea of having a system of waivers for the Affordable Housing Trust initiatives. And I think our regional planning agency could potentially find some resources, monetary resources to fund those. So I'd like to discuss it there. That would be my suggestion.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything?
Stephen Welch did have his hand up, but he
Oh.
put it down. I'm not sure if he wanted to comment or not.
Steve, are you there?
Hey, Nat, how's it going?
Hey, good.
I think all good comments. So I'm not going to add anything to it for now, at least.
Okay. Thank you. Dan, you all set? Were you going to say something? Oh, no.
I was just going to mention, I believe the Board of Health has it on their agenda for this Thursday to continue their discussion.
Yeah.
What I would say is, if you are able to suggest maybe a roundtable with everybody.
Yeah.
I think it'd be in everybody's best. There's a lot of misinformation as to what these systems can do, what they can't do,
And then
rather than just putting a regulation in place, really understanding what is proposed to do versus just enacting it. So once it's enacted, things don't get taken back.
Yep. Yep.
That's all. Thank you.
Leslie, you got any comments?
Well, it sounds like the board members, and then we have, of course, suggestions for the public, which I think are all great, to perhaps instead of sending a letter with any particular opinion about the regulations, to send them a letter asking for a joint meeting and some additional collaboration before
Yeah.
anything's adopted. It is on their agenda for this Thursday, which is before the NP and EDC meeting on the 26th, I think is when we're meeting. So we need to get a letter in quickly if that's the desire of the board.
I mean, I just think that how far we've come, and all of a sudden it's like day one in a new, scenario. I mean, a lot of people don't even know what an IA is. You know what I mean? This is somewhat of a, I'm not saying it's new. I'm just saying it's not everybody knows what that is. Okay. Compared to Title V. And I think, and as far as what Hillary talked about the Cape, I know that we had some zero financing stuff that came through that bill, but the Cape didn't have sewer. Like, we're like 100 years ahead of the Cape in the sense of sewer and water. It's just the truth. But I don't know about the loan stuff beyond what I know about that zero financing stuff that we were able to get for some of the projects. But as far as, I just think we need to be clear as to what would the burdens that we're putting in the cost benefit analysis. Is this going to just suddenly, I remember when we talked about when we sued Shimo, we were bringing back the scalloping industry. Well, scallops are here, but there's nobody scalloping. So no one really had that in mind at the time. So we need to be clear about it. We can't just come up with something brand new that's a burden on people. And when we're trying to get year-round housing and ways to keep people here that live here or want to live here year-round. So anyway, that's all.
Nat, if I could just,
Emily?
Nat.
Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, listen, for me, it's I want to understand what the end game is, what their intention is. I mean, is this about nitrogen or is this about extra bedrooms? Right. So I think that they need to be very, very clear on what their intention is and why they're doing it. Thank you.
Yep. Emily, welcome.
Thank you. Emily Molden. I was just going to add that the Land and Water Council has been working with the Housing Department on some options for making accommodations for year-round residents or additional considerations that I know they're proposing to the select board for a letter that will be discussed on Wednesday. So as it was suggested, it might be worth waiting to hear what the select board discusses and votes on. Thank you.
Okay. So that fits with what you said, Leslie. Go ahead, Hillary.
Oh, I have a question either for Leslie or Emily or both of you, following up on Dave's question. I followed this a little bit since the Board of Health has been talking about it late last summer or last fall. And I think they're clearly focused on the contaminants, and they like the IA systems because it reduces the contaminants. But they're both asking for the IA systems to reduce the contaminants, and then they're still saying, but we also don't want the extra bedrooms. So if the point of the IA system is that it reduces the contaminants and protects the waterway, then why are the credits also being eliminated? What's their line of reasoning about that? Is that we can hold it to the group meeting. I don't want to, we have a lot of work to do tonight, but I just didn't want to leave it out there assuming that they hadn't addressed them, because I think they've been very thoughtful.
I'll make it brief because this
Okay.
isn't necessarily the place for it, but the credits originally put out by DEP,
Okay.
essentially to say, if you want to have more bedrooms, you have to use a special system, produce a cleaner water. So the states already realized that these systems produce a cleaner discharge. And the science is there, it shows us there, and it shows that if you take two comparable systems, one with, one without, you could double the bedrooms on the treated system, and it's still better than the untreated system with half the flow. So that's where the science right now disagrees with the regulation.
Okay.
The regulation is saying, use the advanced treatment, better quality discharge, even with more flow, you still have better quality.
Right.
And
Which
this-
would make sense to me, but what is their line of argument for still wanting to not allow the credits?
that's where I think the overall meeting you're talking about would be a huge help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dan, can you stand there for a second? I want to ask you something about the meeting the other day. With the meeting with, the select board about this. Something was brought up about the system being stagnant for 3 or 4 months and how it like doesn't, the microbes and all that. I mean, when you start talking about stuff like that, I just like, okay, whatever. So can you just explain that?
There are, I'll make it again, I'll just do
Bugs.
short. So there are lots of different types of treatment systems. Some of them don't work as effectively when they sit dormant for extended periods of time. In
Yeah.
a seasonal community like Nantucket, parts of the Cape, that is definitely the fact. The system, majority of the type of system that's being used on Nantucket, which is also happens to be the one that's on the top of the state's recommended list, doesn't have that problem because it's continuously being circulated, and not necessarily new waste coming to it, but it's continually in motion.
Yep.
So it doesn't necessarily have that same problem, but that historically has been an issue.
Okay, thank you.
Nat, can I get, while he's up there, can I ask him a question through you?
Yep.
And I guess this is,
All right, Dan, you're never here, so this is good.
well, thanks, Nat.
Always on
So and I guess this is just for my personal knowledge. Do you know what a yearly contract costs a homeowner that has an IA system? Because they have to have a contract to maintain it, correct?
There has to be a contract to maintain it. It's annual. I don't know the exact. I've heard numbers ranging from 1,000 to 1,500 a year. I'm sorry. I think that may depend on the size of it.
They
So-
quoted 2,500 in the presentation to the select board.
I'm not up to speed on the maintenance.
So,
one.
so it's.
Yeah,
it's
Dave,
another-
they laid this
add-
all out in the select board meeting, all the
Okay.
costs. And it's about all in, $40,000, including, an ongoing maintenance versus 25,000.
Great,
was what they-
thank you.
Okay. Hi, Emily, go ahead.
Thanks. And I was just going to briefly add, with respect to Hillary's previous question about the IA systems and contaminants, they're specifically designed to remove additional nitrogen from the effluent. And so where they have previously been mandated are in the Nantucket Harbor watershed, the Nantucket Harbor watershed, water bodies that the state has officially designated as being impaired for nitrogen. So with regard to the Hummock Pond watershed, that's another water body that is impaired for nitrogen. So it makes sense that they would move to look at mirroring the same regulations within that watershed. The Wellhead Protection District is slightly different. And so that's where I think some of the discussion comes about. And I mean, just from my position watching the Board of Health's discussions, it seems as though they found themselves in a position where their process for granting variances for extra bedrooms to have these systems installed was becoming expected, like to the point where it would almost be like going to the ZBA and saying, having somebody expect to receive a variance instead of the actual variance process being reviewed case by case. So I think that's kind of what spurred them into reviewing their regulations to begin with. But there, that is the specific, distinction as far as like looking at reducing nitrogen specifically as a contaminant.
But Emily, can you just,
Mhm.
and when we're on this, I mean, we don't normally talk about these things, but I mean, and I know how you feel about Nantucket, and that's why I brought it up. Like, no sewer, right? I don't think it's ever going to happen anyway, but just make it official. But isn't we, I thought IA was like the new great thing, the way Title V was after leach pits. I mean, that's how my brain was thinking. And I thought that everybody was on board with IA, where you couldn't have sewer in an area that's sensitive.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's,
but they are expensive, and that's why
well, I
there's
know,
the
but
discussion.
that's, and I think one
Mhm.
bedroom, we're arguing about one bedroom over what sewer would do out there. I mean, I think that's a pretty good trade-off.
And I think it's also important to remember that a lot of the Wellhead Protection District is already sewered,
Sorry,
right? that's another,
It's a
I
really
think,
important
really
point.
important component to
Yeah.
the discussion.
So,
I'm hopeful that we can find some agreement that works for everybody. And I look forward to a group meeting.
I do too. So can you follow up on that, Leslie, as far as like that narrative
Would someone make a motion for
of
us to
letter
send a
of,
letter for the
of-
vice chair to sign?
Yeah.
Requesting a joint meeting.
yeah, it's just,
Yeah,
it's a
or
bigger conversation than we can have, that's for sure.
or something featuring the NPDC. Do you like that idea, or do you think that's
The only issue with that right now is that their meeting is on
Timing.
Thursday and the planning commission meeting's not until the 26th. So I think we should wait for the planning commission meeting on the 26th and see sort of where they are.
sure? Yeah. Could the letter mention or the NPDC a timing permitted? I only mention it because of the access to the technical expertise and the access to the grants. I think that the NPDC is a body that can bring some special resources to the table, and that's really what they're there for. So I understand there's a timing issue, but I think it's worth raising the role of that
I
group
think
in the letter.
I think we're not there yet for that, but we just need to be able to get into this conversation for the regulatory side and what's the public, impact is on this. This isn't just about people with money. This is about everybody. So, okay. Are we good? Are we done with
Oh,
this
wait,
now?
we make,
We're all
someone
set?
make that
Oh,
motion.
go ahead, Dave.
Do I need to, was that motion made or I will make that?
No, you'd be making it now.
Okay,
Sorry.
so I'd make a motion for staff to write a letter for vice chair to sign, asking for a joint meeting
Is there a second?
with the Board of Health and
Okay.
the select board, I guess, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that can be figured out, Is there a second? Lori, there was
Well,
nobody here.
yeah, if we can add for the planning board and or the NPDC, because the NPDC includes the Concom, the Affordable Housing Trust, and
Okay.
the planning board.
Okay,
Could we add and or the NPDC?
okay.
Is that
I
okay?
mean, if it can work, otherwise it will
Right,
end up
and
being
or
planning
the
board.
or would be,
Yeah.
it doesn't.
Point of order, I don't think in your letter you can be compelling the NP and EDC to be doing it. Like, just point of order, I don't know staff. Like, I agree with staff. I think we should bring it up separately at our meeting. I just don't know if the planning board writes a letter and is compelling the MP and EDC to do something without the MP and EDC having discussed it. I don't want to recommend that path. I don't know, staff, if you feel differently.
Just go ahead.
No, I agree. I mean, this is the planning board deliberating what the planning
right,
board wants to do. And I think that, as staff, we will absolutely bring this to the NP and EDC chair to include on the agenda on the 26th. But I think the scope of focus is the planning board's request and the planning board's interpretation.
Okay.
And to add to this, they're not planning on any action Thursday. Okay, so that's key.
That,
Do we know
I
that?
don't know. I have no idea.
Is this still a conversation at the
It's a
Board of
public
Health?
hearing that's been open for several months.
God.
So I don't know.
Their agenda, which I just had open,
I-
just says
I'm sure
continuation
that-
of public hearing for Hummock Pond watershed regulation amendment and continuation of public hearing for wellhead protection regulation amendment. So doesn't say votes may be taken, doesn't mean they won't be taken, but we're not sure.
It
That's-
sounds like there's not gonna be any action, so. Okay, so sooner that we get something rolling with a collaborative effort, I think that's the most important thing. Okay, Hillary,
Aye.
okay, all those in favor, Dave,
Aye.
Hillary? Well, that was the second, sorry, as far as I
Aye.
remember. And the chair votes aye. Thank you. Sorry for all that, but that's what we have. Okay, up next, second dwellings. We have 32 Woodbine. Does anyone have any questions about this application?
No.
Okay, accept the motion to approve.
Move to
So
approve.
moved. Oh, second.
Yep, second.
All those in favor, Dave,
Aye.
Hillary,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye.
It's really easier when 5 people are here.
I've never had this happen yet, so bear with me. Okay. One tertiary dwelling, 16 Pequot Street, Christine Petrella. Any questions? Oh, damn, what happened?
I just had a question just for the benefit of the public. I agree with the tertiary dwelling. I agree with the letter. How does it work? How does the deed restriction work, given that this is a restricted dwelling?
Which one do you want? That one?
Well, a restriction should be recorded against the deed, but because it's a special permit, because it requires a year-round, sorry,
On the
not a special permit.
on the property,
Yeah.
not in the technically, right? Is that how that
Let me
works?
start over.
Okay. I think that's what
Forget
she's asking.
everything I just said about a special permit. Because the bylaw requires a year-round deed restriction, one should be recorded against the deed at the registry or at the land court. And if it's not occupied year-round as required, then that's a zoning violation and zoning enforcement can be pursued.
And is the year-round occupancy necessary in the tertiary or just somewhere on the lot?
On the lot.
Okay, thank you. I move approval.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Dave? All those in favor? Hillary,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
the chair votes aye. Did we need to activate? No, no. Okay. Okay. Something has happened to every time I press something on the agenda, it comes up something different now. So I don't know what's going on. But anyway, moving on to 44 Prospect Street. We have, that's what I'm saying. I'm sorry about that. Never mind. So we have the 2 A&Rs. I'm sorry, I've jumped over. New Street in Sconset, and we have 17 New Street in Sconset, Sconset LLC, and we have Chris P. Fraker and Deborah Fraker at 44 Prospect. Does anyone have any questions on any of these? Dave, Hillary, otherwise I'll accept the motion to endorse. Both.
Unless someone wants to pull one out, I'd make a motion to endorse.
Second.
All those in favor? Dave,
Aye.
Hillary,
Aye.
the chair votes aye. Thank you. All right. Oh, it's working now. That must have been your fault, Billy. All this stuff. Okay, we're moving on to previous plans. We have Fog Nominee Trust, Mark Dawson, 17 Milestone Crossing. Request for waiver of enforcement of the restriction.
No, I'm bringing Arthur Reed over for
Yep.
this.
Okay. Yep, he was on the last time too. I remember. Why is this one?
Mr. Chair, you ready for me?
Yes, Arthur?
Okay. I represent Mark Dawson, who I believe is in the room tonight and may want to speak. But what we are dealing with here is the Milestone Crossing subdivision, on which there was a set of deed restrictions that was placed on record in connection with the subdivision in November of 1995. Now, those restrictions expired after 30 years as far as their enforceability by the homeowners association or by other lot owners in the subdivision, because they weren't extended prior to the expiration of the 30 years. Now, some of those restrictions were required by the planning board, and the right of enforcement of the restrictions was assigned to the planning board. And as held by the planning board, deed restrictions don't apply because the 30-year limitation on restrictions applies to restrictions that are held only private restrictions, whereas those held by a governmental body do not expire under the statute, the Massachusetts statute that limits the period of enforcement of deed restrictions. So, meanwhile, the one of the restrictions that was contained in the document was that there would be no commercial use, not even customary home occupations as they were defined at that time.
Yep.
And there was nothing in the decision that required, as part of the planning board decision, that there be any prohibition against home occupations. However, along with a bunch of other restrictions that were assigned, that was assigned by the developer to the planning board. So you do hold that restriction, even though it's no longer enforceable by the homeowners association, it is enforceable by the planning board. However, as I mentioned, it was never a condition of the decision in the first place, so dealing with the issue doesn't require modification of the original decision or any other action. Now, back in 1996, Mr. Dawson approached the homeowners association and the planning board, and the homeowners association entered into a document by which it was provided that, notwithstanding the provisions that prohibit commercial uses, that a commercial kitchen could be constructed in a secondary dwelling on his lot, which could be used only as a customary home occupation for preparation, assembly, and storage of products for off-premises sale and use, provided, however, that no commercial delivery vehicles shall be permitted in connection with the use of such kitchen. The supplies must be transported to and from the lot in the owner's own car or van, and no sales activity shall occur on the lot. And such kitchen shall not be used in a manner which jeopardizes the integrity and residential character of the Milestone Crossing neighborhood. The planning board consented to that. Now, meanwhile, the definition of customary home occupation was replaced with home occupation, as it now is in the definitions in the zoning bylaw. And it has various conditions in there, one of which is that there be not more than 14 anticipated vehicle trips per day in connection with the commercial use. There's also a limitation on the size of it and so on. What we would like to do is to remove any barriers to letting Mr. Dawson operate as with a commercial kitchen on his lot, and he may want to get into describing to you some of what he intends to do with the commercial kitchen. In today's world, obviously there are deliveries by various delivery services. We didn't have the ubiquity of FedEx, UPS, and other delivery trucks that we do today. And the limitation to 14 vehicle trips per day, which once again is not something that's counted on a day-to-day basis, but it's the number that would normally be coming to the property on a daily basis, would be a more appropriate way of dealing with the issue rather than prohibiting commercial vehicles other than those of the owner. So to make a very long story short, we would like to have the planning board waive the restriction and send a letter authorizing the home occupation as a commercial kitchen, subject to all limitations in the zoning bylaw as to home occupations.
Thank you,
And
Arthur.
that's what we're looking for.
Mark?
Hi, guys.
You want to say anything before we talk about this?
No, Arthur said it all.
Yeah.
Right after the homeowners association's restrictions went past just after, well, mid-November, I wrote a letter to Arthur saying everything that he just said. I said, hey, I need a little help approaching the planning board just to come up to date. Where am I now? Where do I want to go? Have every intention to do what I intended to do over 30 years ago. A couple of things happened between now and back then, and had a couple of restaurants, but now I'm slowing down, but I'd like to continue to give back to the community. My wife and I are, mostly my wife is involved with Nourish Nantucket. We're a new vendor of Stop and Shop. We just like to slowly grow old and do our own thing. We're using kitchens in our old Keepers building right now, but it'd be nice if we could just work out our own house. And it's small scale. And as Arthur just said, we don't want to, interrupt any thing that would change the character of the neighborhood. We want to do exactly, follow your lead, what you say that we can do. And I would assume if you let us do that, I guess I would go to the health department and ask for help. And I say guidance and guide us through creating that, and just be persistent and do all that.
Yep.
Does that, and I'm here to answer any question.
No, no problem, Mark. Does anyone have anything?
Yeah, thank you so much
You
for
bet.
that description. Could you just tell us a little bit, could you just tell us a little bit more about what you're producing, just about the home occupation business and
Sure.
about the expected deliveries?
Sure,
Thanks.
sure. Wrote a little letter. I figured you might ask that, so I wrote it down. I'll read it. I'll speed read it, but just to verbally to answer you, right now or in the past, recent past, my wife's been creating a lot of soups, and then out of the kitchens of where the Hive is now, the old Keepers building, and it goes to donation and help people throughout on the island who need that. Our intention is to continue giving back to the island. It's been good to us with the help and aid of the kitchen, that if we can do that. And any kind of small kind of catering that we can do to generate a little cash flow just to smooth out and grow old gracefully. If you ask me, does that answer a little bit of that?
Well, I mean, I think
You want to know exactly what products we're going to do in
No,
the future, or? I have
well,
no intention of making huge meals and cater to the thousands that we used to do at Fog Island. No.
yeah,
not
I mean,
doing
what
that
you're
again.
doing sounds wonderful and a lovely thing to do. We have to be sensitive to the truck traffic in the
Sure.
neighborhood, especially given that this particular neighborhood, people have been there for a long time. It's relatively stable, and they all have expectations that they're not going to have a Cisco truck rumbling, past them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Let
that's
me
really
address
the
that.
concern. Yeah.
So 30 years ago, that was an issue. And I said, fine, no commercial trucks, no, nothing. But since then, Amazon, FedEx, UPS, all 14 lots in my neighborhood have all those trucks coming up and down their their driveway. We all share the same amount. Well, I don't know who orders on Amazon, but we all get packages, and these are all commercial vehicles. This is how we get our stuff. It's not a lot, but those are the vehicles that are coming down my driveway.
So you're not, in my mind, a delivery vehicle that would be servicing residential clients and delivering things that you're using commercially, but nonetheless it's mixed with residential and it's basically a residential service, is different than something like a Cisco.
Great question. Yeah, I'll answer that. When we were doing
Not to pick on Cisco, but
yeah, well,
they're here a lot. Yeah.
Yep. I'll answer that right now. No Cisco trucks, no US food trucks like our restaurant used to get all the time, every day. I don't want to go down that road. Don't want to live that life anymore. Slowing down. The volume that I anticipate is easily be delivered via UPS or FedEx. It's small amounts that unless I go out and get it myself.
That's my next question.
Oh.
Where you can have stuff delivered somewhere that you can go pick up.
Or if
pick
somebody
it,
allows
whatever.
them to, if I find somebody, but it's nice if it just comes right to the house.
Yeah,
But I'm no 18-wheel trucks right now Cape Cod Express has trucks going up and down. But I think back to if you're saying, hey, are you going to have trucks like you did with your restaurant? No, I don't want that. And I live in a neighborhood and I don't want to disturb the neighborhood. But I do like to continue on, at a small scale, just because it's in my DNA.
Thank you.
And I kind of spell that out here. I don't know, you can have this. I'll give it to Nat when we're done, but
so just let me just,
That,
go ahead, Dave. Never mind, go ahead.
and I looked in the packet, we have not received any communication from abutters or neighbors or anyone in that subdivision, have we?
We have someone with their hand up.
This is not a public hearing
Yeah.
and it's not noticed like a public hearing. So a butters notifications are not sent out regarding a
They are, okay,
previous plan.
okay. But still we've not heard anything, no letters have been written to us or
So
anything.
this is not, so there was no abutters notices in the previous, because this is not, doesn't rise to that level? Gotta be a reason.
No, Arthur's request was to have a discussion with the board. It's not a public hearing.
Oh,
Okay. But the way we've changed the language
We're not making a
surrounding,
decision for him to do this now. We're talking about the talking about it.
Yeah.
Getting our input.
Nat, if I can, the request is for the board to write a letter authorizing this to take place. The way documentation was recorded back in the 90s, it's questionable whether or not it's still an enforceable condition in the first place. But I think, as a good neighbor, Arthur wanted to bring this forward to the board for a discussion, just to have this request formalized and documented via a letter.
Yeah.
So that's what the ask is. And we do have a member of the public with their hand up, so I don't know if you're going to accept comments or not. It's chair's discretion for non-public hearing
well,
items.
and that, I'm just trying to clarify something. So our definition now of home occupation is different from what it was when that subdivision was created and his intentions.
Don't forget farming.
That's
Right.
right. In fact, it's more restrictive now because there are more conditions that are in the specific definitions that are specific conditions that are listed in the definition, including the 14 vehicle trips.
Okay, that's what and it's Mark's contention that he'll nowhere come close to reaching that, correct?
Yes.
Okay, great.
That is
Thank you.
definitely correct. I have no intention of that kind of
Okay,
situation.
great. Thank you very much.
Can you hear from the public?
Yeah, go ahead. Who's got the hand up?
We
Billy.
have Charity Benz with her hand up.
Okay.
And Charity, please unmute.
Yeah. Hi, Mark. It's Charity. I guess my question is, given your explanation of just a few a few meals here and there, why is the number 14 trips a day? That's my first.
Oh,
Go
go ahead.
That was
Go
part
ahead.
of the original.
That's the
home
that's the
occupancy.
definition.
So
30 years
that's
ago.
within the charity, that's within the definition of what is a home occupancy under the zoning bylaw that caps out as 14 round trips, vehicle trips per day. So it's not a number that Mark has just thought of. That's what's in zoning.
Okay, my other question would be whether or not Hinsdale Road could be used as an access point for the delivery of these items.
That's
No.
fine with me.
No.
If that's what you
No.
want.
It won't
No,
work.
that cannot be done.
Can I say
There,
something?
there's a access,
Yeah, you can.
a
Restriction.
prohibition on access that I think may have been lifted
yeah,
in
it's been a
connection
long
with a
time.
special permit, but the roadway would need to be improved
Yeah,
all the
it's-
way to Nobody Farm Road. That was,
Improved meaning graded.
yes.
Yeah. So
You could not get a truck in that access.
Right, right.
That proprietors.
No,
mean,
I
that would
abut
not
that
work.
road, so I know Hinsdale very well. I mean, I'll do
I
whatever
think
you
Mark
want.
has a driveway that goes out to Hinsdale from one of the dwellings on his unit.
I
on his
can't hear
property.
that.
Sherry, can you say that one more time? Sorry, it's a little bit.
No, I think that Mark has a driveway, don't you, Mark, that goes from one of your dwellings out to Hinsdale Road?
No, no, that's my neighbor. They have a wide opening. If you had the bird's eye view, they can easily drive from Hinsdale right on to my abutter, who's right next to me. If you wanted me to, I mean, I wouldn't even want to do what they have a huge opening that opens up to Hinsdale, and you can drive on and off. But and I mean, if you want me to have an opening where a UPS or FedEx, a smaller commercial truck, not an 18-wheel, but a small, I'd be happy to do that. That would certainly, then nobody in the neighborhood would see any of that traffic, the 14 supposedly trips a day. I would not even gonna.
I think that means
Like people
doesn't
coming to
have a
pick
vehicle
up.
size.
Yeah.
And now, you know what I mean? It's just an assumption of 14 something vehicles that weren't gonna be on your street. I
Yeah.
think that's kind of what that refers to.
Well,
We had
but this is a good question because my neighbor has this, when they cleared the property, they cleared a lot of the Hinsdale Road, and they certainly, I mean, I didn't mind, but and they did that a while ago. I mean, if I cleared a little bit where it would be, it would aid in this traffic so that Muslim Crossing wouldn't even feel any burden, I'm happy to do that. And whether, if it means grading, I'm receptive to that. I think that actually might be helpful. I didn't expect that to come up.
Not if I could, if charity.
Go ahead, Dave.
No,
Go ahead,
yeah,
Dave.
and I just want to clarify because I thought I heard Mark say that there'll be no US Foods, there'll be no Cisco trucks.
Yeah.
And that the deliveries he gets, well, you're not going to get Cape Cod Express deliveries. Most of the things that you get delivered are going to be through UPS and FedEx, correct, Mark?
Unless I go out and personally buy it off island in my car, get on the boat, you know what I mean? And
Okay.
come put it in the freezer. It's if I drive my own truck, I have a Tacoma or whatever I drive in the future. Perhaps that's what I'll do, but that's
Okay.
not a
So
normal size car.
So yeah,
You're having
I 100% understand where Charity's coming from here, but and tell me if I'm wrong, but what I hear you saying is that you're going to have deliveries like everyone else in the neighborhood has deliveries. Occasionally,
Oh, absolutely.
UPS truck's going to come by or a FedEx ground truck is going to come by. It's not every day. It's not multiples from UPS and FedEx every day. It's just business as
They're already coming to everybody's driveway.
Exactly.
but you're not having deliveries from wholesale food distributors.
No, I just listed,
Yeah,
UPS, FedEx,
so, right,
maybe
I think-
Amazon. It's or I go out and get it myself.
But as far as the deliveries, it won't be.
When you say
wholes-
wholesale, you say, I'm assuming like the US Foods or.
Yes, the
no,
folks that are servicing the
I
restaurants.
have no
yeah, 'cause
intention. That's
yeah.
So
So
I-
you're not, so
been
anything,
there, done that.
so what
I
about
see this
refrigerated
truly
stuff?
as a home occupation that fits
Well,
in.
it's
To be
so
honest,
May I
small,
ask
the
one-
amount.
Yeah.
May
Sorry,
I ask one further question, please?
Yep,
This
go
is
ahead, Charity.
this is a very different scenario than what Arthur presented in this sort of global 14 trips. And what about perishable food, Mark? I mean, that's not going to be delivered by FedEx, is it?
Whatever the legal perishable food, you mean
What I
like
meant, like
a
refrigerated.
tomato or something like that?
No, she's.
Yeah, in other words, if you're making soups and you need to get tomatoes and stuff like that, and you don't serve them out of, I'm just trying to say, if that is the case and everything's going to be delivered by FedEx or UPS, that's a very, very different situation to what the application suggested with 14 trips a day.
Well, I think it also says that I'm allowed to go over to Bartlett and buy some fresh produce and come home in my own vehicle
Yeah, okay.
Which we're doing.
Yes.
All right, then I have no
You
problem.
can have horses and cows by right.
Yeah, and if I could,
Right.
Mr. Chair, Charity,
You're
the
not supposed
14
to talk
trips
about that.
is inside the definition of a home occupation. It isn't that they're promising they won't, that they're, it's not like they're saying we're gonna have 14 trips a day, but that is 14 trips is what is how a home occupation is defined. It's
Up
it's
to.
not
That's
like
all
we're
we want to do
asking
is what you've
for it.
already approved. Yeah.
Well,
So when I read about this ahead of time, I focused in on so you want Arthur is asking that the home occupation standard be applied.
Yes.
And that the
Exactly.
restriction and and we wanted to clarify that this really wasn't going to be, wholesalers and the US foods and everything, and you've said it's not. So when I thought about it, what was important to me was the understanding that in our zoning bylaw, a home occupation has to be accessory to the residence. So it has to be incidental and it has to be subordinate and accessory. And I guess the way we define that is no more than 14 it's not generating more than 14 vehicle trips per day, which you've said you won't. So I just want to make sure that if, when we send you this letter, which I think we're going to do, that you understand that it still needs to be an accessory subordinate use, because your neighbors could still come and say, this is out of control. And they could do that to any home occupation. Someone could go to the zoning officer and say, it's really not a home occupation because it's really a full-fledged business and it should be in a commercial neighborhood.
Totally understand.
Does that sound right?
And Charity's
Matt?
listening, and she lives a couple doors down. She's welcome to come. She's a friend of mine.
You might have some soup for her.
No, I'm very comfortable with all that. So
I think when people think of 14 trips, they're thinking of a truck, a real
Yeah,
truck, not
yeah.
a pickup. Certainly not the size
yeah.
of yours. I think it's the language has to have some kind of general assumption built into it. That's just how things are. So
Can I direct a
I think
question?
if we could get in writing about Cisco and US and those, pup trailers and 10-wheelers, that kind of thing, that's not going to be driving down there. That's important. I think.
well,
What?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say the request is for you all to issue a letter. I think you could include any
That
language
stuff, yeah.
you wish to include.
I just wanted to ask a question of Attorney Reed. If the summary that I provided about the subordinate use was that accurate? Did that make sense?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite follow that.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that Mr. Dawson understands that when he gets this letter, his cooking business, it needs to be subordinate and
Yeah.
accessory to the home business.
Yeah, I mean, he lives there.
Yeah, and I actually wrote that in this letter, but I can edit this tonight or tomorrow, bring it back to you guys tomorrow with the addition saying there will be no Cisco and US food trucks. That way you have it in writing, if that helps you, or.
I think it's our job to write the letter.
Yeah.
Oh, well, no, I'm just
So-
saying of my letter
Yeah.
of intent. I was
Yeah.
just gonna, but, oh yeah, you write the letter.
Well,
So-
shall I make a motion, Mr. Acting Chair?
If
Are we ready
everyone's,
to do that?
I mean, I'm ready. I just want to make sure
Dave has
we're,
his hand up.
everything's all set with Dave
Well,
and
my hand
Charity
is not
well.
up.
Okay.
Yeah, Charity's hand is up.
is up now.
Yes, but
Charity, is that your hand up new or old? Or continued?
I want to make one more point.
Yep.
Homeowners Association, I mean, with this 14 trip business, with the imagery of Cisco and US Food and so forth, the Homeowners Association pays for it's a private road, and we pay for the maintenance of that road. And so the wear and tear on the road of large trucks would have wound up, could have caused the rest of the homeowners to have to pay for maintenance of the road due to the wear and tear of those kinds of large vehicles coming in as many as 14 times a day. And that was a concern to me, not only for myself, but for the rest of the homeowners who probably were not aware of this going on. So I think the whole idea of providing more detail about the nature of the business and the types of vehicles that would be used would be helpful, and it would be helpful to the neighbors because they would be able then to rely on it in the future. Thank you very much.
Oh, his letter? No.
Mr.
Okay,
Chair,
go
can I just
ahead.
point out that home occupations are allowed by right in every single zoning district. It's highly unusual that there's a condition enforced by the planning board, which this is completely questionable as to whether it is or it isn't. It probably isn't. That would restrict home occupations. I mean, typically the planning board encourages home occupations. And in order to pursue the home occupation, Mr. Dawson and his wife will have to go to the building department. They'll have to fill out an application and they'll have to explain how the proposed business does or does not meet the home occupation standard. So I think getting into the weeds in that in your letter is really unnecessary. You should leave that to the enforcement officials at the building department to handle.
Oh, good luck with that.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you, Leslie. That's helpful.
Okay. So does anyone want to make a motion?
Sure, I'll make a motion that that the planning board waive the oh, there's already a waiver. Wait, what is our we're on the staff report?
Yeah, we're
Okay,
asking
the
that you
motion
waive
is
the
that-
enforcement of the restriction with regard to the facts that have been presented to you regarding this, provided that the operation is done in accordance with the provisions of the bylaw relating to home occupations.
Okay, so the motion is that we send a letter recommending that the commercial kitchen at Mr. Dawson's residence be considered a home occupation under a zoning code under our zoning bylaw. And that restrictions, that the requirement that all deliveries be made in the owner's personal vehicle be removed. And furthermore, that the planning board discussed that we would not be seeing, I know you asked us not to include this, but we talked about it a long time, so I'm going to include it in the motion, is that we discussed that there would not be wholesale food delivery services, making deliveries in, large trucks, 18-wheeler trucks, etc. But otherwise, it's a home occupation.
Okay, Megan?
Mhm.
Okay. Dave, is there a
Second.
second?
Second.
All those in favor? Hillary?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. I think you got that, Megan.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Arthur.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item.
So next item is 4143 Sparks Avenue. It's a minor
What
modification.
about,
10 and 12
Oh,
Dave
did I
Camp.
skip one?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm gonna
10
be recused on the next two,
Okay.
but this one here is called DXD. What does SS stand for?
I have no idea, but it's the storage facility at 1012 Dave Kim. So they requested their temporary certificate of occupancy. There was quite a bit of paving work that was yet to be completed, but because we're in January, that's not able to happen until the spring. So they went through for an assigned cost to an itemized punch list that Ed Pesci and myself and Billy have reviewed and agreed to. So they're asking if they put up a performance surety to cover the amount of remaining work, which is $158,000, $158,610.60 if the planning board would authorize the building commissioner to sign off on the temporary certificate of occupancy as it relates to the planning board inspection. And we recommend that you do that.
I read the letters. And Ed Pesci's all over this.
Yep.
So, good. Okay,
Motion to release
Or not release, we're accepting.
to accept the surety deposit as summarized in the staff report.
for a second, Dave,
Second.
all those in favor?
Hillary,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Thank you.
You're gonna
Mr.
step
Chair,
away
I'm
from
gonna
Yes,
the
just
I'm
next
close
sorry,
real
go
quick.
ahead.
I sort of skimmed over this on the agenda, but I am an abutter to an abutter, and I have not been involved in anything
Yeah.
related to this application.
You're pretty far away from this, aren't you? No,
Not really.
no, okay.
Hop, skip, and a jump.
All
Go
right.
back
Oh,
to-
that's right. Okay. Okay, the next two I have to recuse, and we've
So-
never had to recuse with three members.
We
So
have
what
to
are we up to
continue.
here?
I'm sorry, Dan. No, we only have two.
Two.
We have Hillary and we have Dave. We can't activate an alternate on a minor
mean,
modification. I'm sorry.
God.
Is there any way, staff, that we could maybe slide this on Thursday's agenda for a hot minute?
That possible?
Yeah, I can send down an updated posting in the morning. We can do that. We can
We have enough
continue
time
to
for that,
Thursday.
right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't, it's not fair to make Dan and his
That would be
clients
good.
wait another
These
month.
aren't big deals. It's just,
No.
but I like to not have to wait a month.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it needs to happen to get a
anybody.
building permit. So
Okay.
So yeah, if we can do it Thursday, I think that would be best. Sorry, Dan.
okay.
No, that's fine. I appreciate the offer. Thank
Do
you.
you want, anyone want to make a motion to that effect?
I make a motion to continue Mid-Island Service 4143 Sparks Avenue and Island Gas 11 Industry Road to Thursday, the 15th. Is that what it is?
The 15th.
15th of January.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, Dave,
Aye.
Hillary,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. Thank you. Okay. Hold on a
And
second.
Mr. Vice Chair, I hope I didn't make the next section too confusing, but I was hoping you'd kind of take each section with the continuance.
Okay,
But
hold on
don't
a
we still have
second.
to do 11 Industry Road?
No,
No,
that's
that was
fine.
also
We just continued
continued.
both.
Oh, both of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
That was what the motion was. Sorry. Hillary, I should have been more clear about that. Okay, wait, what are we, okay, that's connected to that. Okay. Okay, so, no, you did good, Billy. That's great. Okay, so public hearings, we're gonna continue the following items to January 15th. Zoning map amendment, R20 to CN, a portion of Toombs Court, and zoning map, and zoning bylaw amendment. Emily Molden's article for the 4181L, we're gonna continue to the 15th. I have a motion to that effect.
So moved.
So a second, Dave,
Second.
all those in favor? Dave, Hillary,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
and chair votes aye.
And I just want to remind everyone, because we're plugging in all these special meetings, the meeting on Thursday is at the meeting trailer. There's
It's
a
a-
hybrid option. You can participate via Zoom if that's what's most convenient, but it is at the meeting trailer and it begins at 4:30, not 4, just to make things
Wow.
extra
More
confusing.
confusing. Yeah, that's okay. We're used to that.
Sorry.
Nope. You got that, Emily? Okay, and the public hearings on zoning articles, that will be continued to January 29th. Is the zoning map amendment for the Town and Country Overlay District, Battle Farm Road and Hummock Pond Road. Have a motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, Dave,
Aye.
Hillary,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. That's the 29th for that. So
Yep.
we're back to the 15th.
Yes, so the 29th will be here in this room at 4 o'clock. It's a Thursday. And I should mention too, before you get to the next motion, there were a handful of articles that were drafted that when I coordinated with Nathan on the maps, I didn't realize like a small portion included another zoning district. So a chunk of those needed to be re-advertised. So that's why you'll notice if you are missing from the continuance to Thursday, they'll just have to be re-advertised and you'll see them on the 29th.
Okay. So the next batch that's continued to the 15th is zoning map amendment, RC2 to CN on Surfside Road, Mike Common Ave, RC2 to CI, CMI or CN on Sun Island Road, RC2 to CMI on Arrowhead and Hinsdale, and use chart, amendments for restaurants, large restaurant, is that what that means?
Yeah, large restaurants.
Okay, and apartment buildings and the community land trust. Is there a motion to continue to the 15th?
I'll make a motion to continue those to the 15th.
Second, all those in favor, Hillary,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Thank you. Okay, public hearings that are going to be continued.
One last
Oh.
interruption, I'm sorry, because
Okay.
I forgot to make mention of this at the beginning. One Barnard Valley Road Longfin LLC has requested to continue to February 9th, so please include that in your
I got
motion.
it.
Well, we
You
didn't-
gave me the updated one.
I did, but
Oh.
we didn't put it out on the website.
Oh, okay, okay. So all of the next three public hearings are continued to February 9th. Marin Lane Homeowners Association, 9 Korea Lane, Cliffside Beach, 46 Jefferson, and Longfin, 1 Barnard Valley Road. Is there a motion to continue?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, Dave,
Aye.
Hillary,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. Okay. Very good, William. Okay, we're back to as normal as possible here. Let's see. All right, 10A Gregolin Avenue. Let's see here. Hold on a minute. Louis Dog LLC. Representation is Chris Christillo.
I'm moving him over
Is he
right now.
online? Okay. All righty.
And I did, while he moves over, I did include an email exchange with Mr. Castillo. I think it'll help explain what he's trying to do over there.
Okay. Welcome, Chris, if you're there. See what's going on, Bill.
Yeah, hang on 1 second. Chris, I'm having trouble moving you over. I just unmuted you. Would that be okay?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, do you want me to explain what's going on here?
Yes, if you could, sir. Thank you.
Sure, no problem at all. So we're looking to keep the 2 shipping containers on the back right part of the property. Everything else will be moved. The office trailer is going to be moved out. So we want to do some screening there to block it from the roadway. Leland cypresses are probably the best. And that's really the gist of it. It's in the very back. There's a 40-foot container and a 20-foot container. And we just want to keep those if possible, and we'll screen them off if necessary.
Okay, you've read the findings in the staff report, I'm assuming.
I have not.
So that the use of 2 storage containers on the site is in harmony with the purpose of the bylaw, and that the conditions that the containers be located in substantial compliance with the site plan attached in Exhibit A, which is what we're looking at right now.
Yes.
And the 2 storage containers shall only be utilized for storage purposes. No materials, equipment, or other items shall be stored on top of the storage containers. Okay? Making them bigger than they are, right?
Yes.
What about screening staff? He just mentioned something about that, but is this, I didn't go by here and look at this. Is this
This is
not really necessary to get into that? at
I
this location?
mean, we haven't made the other applicants along Gregland necessarily put screening in.
Yeah.
It does tie in with the area. I also
Yeah.
wanted to say he's I don't know if it was mentioned in here. He's looking to keep the office trailer just until March. I had it in until March 1st. There's a number of items that'll be removed March 1st.
It says the existing office trailers and remaining. Okay, so that's all the other. These 2 they want to keep. The other ones are going to be gone.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's why
got
if
it.
you look at the original, the site plan shows everything that's currently there.
Yep.
He's only looking to keep the back 2
2.
or the the furthest southeast
Yep.
containers.
Got it. Furthest away from the road.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Anyone have any questions? Dave, you all right?
If Hillary has any questions.
Oh,
I'll go
well,
next.
usually we have these reviewed in a year. Or I don't know about usually, but we have had them come back and reviewed in a year. Do you want to add that as I think it's a good idea.
Can I actually ask for clarification on that? Do you want to have a public hearing or do you want him to reach out to staff? You want staff to review it?
I don't see this as the same as like the old days with the West Ender or some other trigger
Well,
situation.
here's-
You know what I mean with the changes in use?
I think a public hearing is definitely not necessary.
I kind of think
So-
that in this case, I'm not saying that's not the case in other things, but in this particular case, I don't see the need for it, although maybe a report or an update from staff of some kind of what there was communication, somebody's, I don't know, is that? I mean, we've been talking about the 1 year thing, so I'm trying to be somehow consistent with this. I mean, this is like the beginning of storage trailers. Containers, not trailers.
Dave has-
There's gonna be more of this because of the nature of the island and how jobs are getting done and people need a place to put their stuff. I mean, that's just the bottom line. So I think we need to be not necessarily consistent everywhere, but consistent with that area. and
Can I-
What we've done. So go ahead.
Well, Dave has his hand up.
No,
but
go ahead,
I also want
Dave.
to chime in.
Thanks. Listen, I think, this location is right across the street from residential. And I would just want to be sure that the screening is appropriate and that the neighbors aren't looking at a bunch of, or two storage containers. So, I mean, I don't want to go overboard, but I just want to make sure at least the front of that lot has very good screening so that, that the residential lots across the street don't have to see it. Thank you.
Chris,
Yes,
you got that?
what you just mentioned right there, screening in the front of the lot, or can the screening be in the back of the lot next to the containers?
Whatever it takes so that the residential neighbors don't have to see it.
Perfect, easy enough. Yeah, I was gonna put up Leland cypresses and just, you won't see them once they, I mean, we probably can't get them at, we could probably get them at 8 feet, roughly 8 feet, so that's not a problem.
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Acting Chair,
Yes. Sorry.
is there a
Howard.
need for a term for this approval?
That's what I was saying. Depends on where it is.
Well, in this particular case,
So just thinking forward, I mean, I think you're going to be seeing a lot more applications for storage containers. I would like for the board to not get into a practice that creates a heavy paperwork follow-up burden
can I-
going forward. I mean, I think there are some cases where they're highly visible, where there are a lot of them, and where they should be reviewed in the future. But I think there are some cases, perhaps like this one, where they're tucked away in the back corner of the lot, they're screened. Maybe they don't need that level of follow-up.
Howard, can I just interject what you said, Leslie, about applications? I mean, I think this is more of a formalization application, meaning they've been here. Storage containers didn't show up on Nantucket a month ago, okay? Where I think this is like legalizing in some manner, getting them recorded under control. This is what they have. This is what they want to do. I actually think we're doing the right thing. It's just that this is a work in progress. This isn't going to happen perfect. But I think that getting them some kind of a procedure for these is important. It started with the coffin pit for the most part. As far as, they really had to get done about them because they were brand new places.
the ones that have just been there forever are everywhere. It's not like everyone is legal or formalized. So I think that we're doing good with this. But Howard's question, I think that has to be specific to each one. I don't think we should have a yearly review on every single storage container that comes to us that's been there, or they're moving it, or they want to say, this is the final place we want to put this, and we're fixing the property to make it screened. I mean, I think we just got to kind of handle them one at a time a little bit.
I agree with that. And you're going to be seeing a lot more because now that we have
A
a
person
part-time
out there
staff
looking out
person
there.
that's doing active zoning enforcement.
This is like
Um,
finding the kitchens
There's a
25
lot.
years
And,
ago.
and a lot of the stuff doesn't need to come to you, but storage containers is one thing that does for special
Yeah.
permit. And there are a lot strewn around. So you'll
Yeah.
see more and more.
And we don't want to make it hard for people to work. We got to remember, we are still a working community, and we have to have places for people to put their stuff in. They're not going to be building shops like they did in the 50s and the 60s, I can tell you that. So anyway, Campbell,
Hi,
how are you?
just for public comment piece.
Okay.
So I was just wondering if you could put something in whereby if more storage containers are added, or if storage containers are moved, that they would come back for approval instead of doing like in 1 year, we'll take a look, leave it more like, so if you decide to add more containers,
think
then come back, and that might cover.
I think that's kind
cover
of what
that.
we're saying. Like, if this gentleman here that's on right now, just using him as an example, wanted to add another 20 footer, he'd have to come back to us.
Correct.
Absolutely.
And so that's
Yeah.
good. I mean,
Right, and I'm just thinking that, you know, in these smaller situations, that might sort of cover the piece with, you know, staff time and
Yeah.
everything, having to make
Yeah.
a special report and like that.
I think the word's going to
Thank
get
you.
out with this. This is going to become normal in probably 2 years. Well, this will be like a standard thing. So I think that's good.
I think given that it's a special permit for such a small portion of the lot, and it's not, you know, that we don't need to put a time condition, but that we should
Definitely
add the
not.
screening condition.
Do you, since we're on this topic, I don't mean to add more time because I'm kind of hungry myself, but what about ones that are for a job that's going to be finished in 10 months or something? Those are the ones that I think we need to have some.
There's a provision in the zoning bylaw in the prohibited uses section 7B that says you can have a container on the lot for 12 months where there's active construction.
Okay. And they can come back to us for an extension if they need it.
And-
Okay.
And back to the screening, you all talked about the screening. I was going to point out earlier that even though you're not reviewing the site plan for parking, the level of parking that they're providing does have additional screening requirements under the bylaw that they will need to comply with. So they should show that on a revised plan.
Okay. Okay, very good. So I'll accept a motion with the findings and the conditions.
Okay,
stated.
so
Oh, sorry.
And activate 2 alternates,
Oh,
please. And
God,
I
I
just
forgot this is
wanted
special
to,
permit.
as a point of order, clarify, from what I'm hearing, we're adding a 4th condition to submit a revised plan detailing where the screenings to be located for staff's
Yeah,
approval.
Staff to review, perfect.
that's it. Okay, so we'll activate Howard. And who's next online? Steve or Abby?
Stephen or Abby, I don't.
Stephen or Abby.
It doesn't matter.
Steve, you there?
I'm here.
You want to get activated on this? We'll activate you for this one.
Yeah, I'm actually going to
You like
second it
stuff
for,
like this.
I'm going to actually second it for discussion.
Okay.
but we've only made a
We-
motion to
we-
close the public
we-
hearing.
we-
Yep,
have to-
I'm waiting, just broadcasting, telegraphing.
Okay.
So-
So
You don't have to.
Do you want us to make a motion
we'll
to?
make a motion to close and then you can say
Okay.
what you want to say. Is that okay, Steve?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Motion to
Close the
close-
public hearing.
Second,
Okay. Who made the motion?
Stephen.
Steve? Okay. Steve's made the motion. Hillary seconded?
Yeah.
Okay. All those in favor? Steve?
Aye.
Hillary?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Howard,
Aye.
chair votes aye. Okay, Steve, you got the floor.
Hey, just a friendly kind of amendment to the motion that hasn't been made yet is that with respect to the screening, I would suggest so that the applicant doesn't get bounced back and forth between two boards. This will have to go in front of the HDC, and it may be that our motion here at Planning Board is that screening will be across the front of the lot, subject to HDC approval, and that might facilitate a simpler, cleaner, more effective approach overall. Thank you.
Okay, staff has a comment about that, Steve. Go ahead.
Well, we can't condition the planning board approval on another board's approval, so
They can change it.
they can,
Or
they can do whatever they want,
alter
but
it.
technically, under their legislation, they're not supposed to be reviewing landscaping, just putting that out there, but
Yeah, so on
something
that,
different, then they'll have to require it. You can't condition your approval on their approval or their conditions on your conditions, or either way.
Can you hear her, Steve?
yeah, I accept the point, strike the HDC, clarify, however, that the HDC is under the act able to stipulate screening, and vegetation is one of those elements. Thank you.
Okay,
Should we put them in our motion?
I don't even want to go there.
All right, so I make
okay.
a motion to approve the special permit with the findings in
number
the
4.
staff report and the conditions, with the addition of the condition that screening will be developed in consultation with staff.
And that would be number 4. Okay, all those in favor? I mean, excuse me, is there a second?
Second.
That was Dave, I think.
Yep.
Okay, all those in favor? Hillary,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Steve,
All right.
Howard,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Okay, thank you, Chris. Thanks.
Thank
for your
you.
patience.
Appreciate it. No problem at all.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, next is William Lothian, trustee, 8 Ave South Nominee Trust, 22 Trotters Lane. Okay. Let's see here.
So I
Thought
can give a
we'd
quick
resolved
overview
that.
on,
Let's see here, where am I?
I can give a quick overview on this. It's an
go.
existing special permit. To permit a tertiary dwelling, they were granted permission to exceed the 8-bedroom allowance. I believe they received approval for 1 additional bedroom for a total of 9. They'd like to make some renovations to the structure to include
This is an
additional.
existing structure.
It's an existing
Yeah,
tertiary
yeah,
dwelling.
yeah.
Currently it's a dwelling unit upstairs and garage space downstairs. They'd like to renovate some of the downstairs space to include in the tertiary dwelling. It will still fall under the 900 square feet. However, because of the findings for this original special permit had to do with it only being 500 square feet, we thought it needed to come back to the
Thought it was 650,
planning.
but yeah.
Yeah,
Whatever
but it
it
had
was
to do with the
before.
findings of the original special
Yeah,
permit.
so we're just up, this is more of a housekeeping issue.
Yeah, it's still gonna be under
Okay.
900 square feet. They're not adding any additional bedroom space. It's simply renovating
what we
some
want.
vacant space.
This is the
And
kind of
they're
thing we
not
want. them
adding
to do.
any new exterior ground cover
They are
either,
not.
right?
No,
Yeah,
they
it's
are not.
only
No
just
changes to the site
interior
plan.
conversion
Yep,
and no additional bedrooms.
That is correct.
yep, this is great.
I don't have any.
Is this
issues with it.
a special permit?
It's a special permit only because it was a special permit to
At the
get to the
time.
9 bedrooms at the time.
Yep, I remember
So we
that.
have to
I'm
activate
having a good
2.
memory
Yep,
on this. I can't
activate
believe it.
2.
Okay, so Abby, you want to be, we'll activate you on this
Okay,
updated tertiary dwelling and.
okay.
And Steve, we'll activate you on this one again. Since you're still right there.
Sounds good.
Okay. Did everyone hear what Megan said about this? This is more of a housekeeping issue. They're adding on interior, making it's still under 900 square feet. And this was an older, back when the tertiary was smaller and our regulations were slightly different. So they're just updating the existing permit, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone have any questions? Otherwise, anyone on the public on this? Okay, so I'll accept the motion to close. the
Motion to
public
close
hearing.
the public hearing?
Is there a second?
Second,
Okay, all those in favor, Hillary,
Aye.
Abby,
aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Thank you. I'll accept the motion to approve the changes in the staff
So
report.
moved.
Made by Steve, seconded by someone.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Hillary. All those in favor, Steve,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Abby,
Aye.
Hillary,
Aye.
chair votes aye. That was pretty good. Thank you. I didn't make any mistakes on that one. I can't believe it. Okay. Moving on. Accrete 865 LLC, 9 Hinsdale Road.
Sarah
Okay.
Alger is
Sarah,
online and
online?
I'm
Okay.
moving her over right now.
Yep. Hold on one second. There we go. Good evening, Sarah. If you're there. Sarah, can you hear me?
I think I just made it over.
No, you did great. There you go.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry to be coming in remotely. I really prefer not to, but I wasn't able to get back over there to get to this meeting, so I apologize in advance. Also, my client got called away to something unexpected and is not able to join either. But Paul Santos is online with me. He's our project engineer. And this is a continued storage situation, and this one is slightly different than the other ones that you've been looking at. First of all, the property is currently in the RC2 zone. You're going to be discussing potentially changing the zoning to something else, maybe CN, I don't know. There was a approval required subdivision done for this property a year or so ago, so it's currently under an 8-year zoning freeze under the RC2 zoning. That's important to my client because his plan all along has been to do residential duplexes, and that's probably not going to be an allowed use in whatever this switches to. Conversely, the storage container situation. So my client is a contractor. He had 8 storage containers on this property. I don't think he was all that cognizant that he wasn't allowed to have storage containers, but now that the town has the full-time enforcement person, that person's going around and enforcing this storage container situation, which is good. So we've been endeavoring to bring this property into compliance since the summer. And so the first thing that happened was he got rid of 3 of the 8 containers. So we're down to 5 containers. Then, because of the definition of storage container in the bylaw, he put the storage containers on registered trailers. So he bought trailers at not inconsiderable expense and put these storage containers on the trailers and registered the trailers at the Department of Motor Vehicles. So they now are registered through the DMV. And because of that, they're no longer considered storage containers within the definition of storage container in the bylaw, because the bylaw exempts containers that are situated on registered trailers or attached to a registered vehicle. So I guess we'll call them, for lack of a better word, a storage trailer, for which there is no definition in the bylaw. So then the idea was that we would park these storage trailers, which are registered through the Department of Motor Vehicles. And by the way, our whole goal is to just be in compliance. We're not trying to have a fight with anybody. We just want to get into compliance, make our non-compliance go away so that we can dismiss the pending action that we have at the zoning board and just kind of go about life as it was prior to the storage container enforcement action. So our thought was, well, in the RC2 zone, a parking lot is an approved use as a matter of right. We would just park these storage trailers in this parking lot and we'd be all set. At that point, we had a conversation with the building commissioner, who, by the way, is happy that we're trying to bring ourselves into compliance. He's supportive of our efforts to come into compliance. So he took a look at the definition of motor vehicle parking lots or structures, which is a commercial use dedicated to exterior or interior vehicular parking. And he said that these storage trailers, even though they're registered through the Department of Motor Vehicles, cannot be considered exterior vehicular parking because they're not motor vehicles. And I think it's tied to the fact that motor vehicle is in the title to the section, but it is a commercial use dedicated to exterior, interior vehicular parking. Anyway, so because even though we're registered through the Department of Motor Vehicles, because we don't have an actual motorized vehicle attached to the storage trailers, we couldn't park them in the motor vehicle parking lot. So the way to cure that is a special permit issued by you all for interior, exterior storage and warehousing. And so that's why we're here. We're here for a special permit for interior, exterior storage and warehousing that would allow us to park these storage trailers in the parking lot, on the lot that's been created off Hinsdale Road, which, because it would have 5 of these storage trailers, we're proposing to screen in accordance with the provisions of, what is it, 3918, I think, or 20 or some, wherever the screening is. And that's why we're here. We're tucked in the back, we're not in a residential area per se. There's a lot of other commercial uses and things going on in the neighborhood. I think we're significantly separated. You can see on the plan where there's quite a bit of land between where we're proposing to park these storage trailers and any adjacent properties. I don't think they're gonna bother anyone. These are for my client's particular use, but I want to be clear about that because of the way the staff report was written. I think there's a potential confusion or problem that could come up. So this property is held by a single purpose LLC, the AC REIT 1865 LLC, which is an LLC that was formed by my client specifically to hold title to the real estate. That isn't the LLC or entity that he uses for his construction business. So when I look at the proposed conditions where I see that it's going to shall apply to the property owner and that no tenant shall be allowed, it isn't per se the property owner, it's the member. It would be an entity controlled by the member of the property owner, if you can follow that. So AC REIT is, all it does is hold title to the real estate. It's not gonna run these storage containers. Those are gonna be done. And it's Kieran McCluskey's company is AC REIT, and he's a contractor, and he's the person who uses these trailers, these storage trailers. And it's kind of convenient to have them on these trailers now, because if he needs to take one to a job site under that 12-month exemption, he can just hook it up to his truck and drive it to the job site, and voila, there it is, just where he needs it to be. But he doesn't want to rent these out to third parties. He doesn't want to have people coming to the property and storing stuff there. He wants it just for the use of his company. And the only other issue I had with the proposed language is that it's valid for 2 years from the date of approval. And I didn't really understand why that was, because I mean, even if this goes to CN, then storage containers are going to be allowed. We could, I guess, come in and amend it and take these off the trailers and put them on the ground. It just seems like a lot to go through, and 2 years seems like a really short period of time.
Okay.
I think I should stop
Can I just,
and let you ask me some questions.
Yeah. Sorry, Sarah, I think we got like two different sounds coming out. How low are the, I didn't go look at this.
I did.
How low are these trailers? Are they like
They're low.
close to the ground? Okay, so they're specific to these kind of things. This isn't like they're on top of a flatbed that's 4.5 feet from the ground.
No.
The trailer on top of that. Okay.
He had to have
That's
these
wicked
trailers
important.
made.
Obviously.
He had these trailers specifically made
Yep.
for these storage containers.
Okay, because I mean, that's going to end up being probably something that's going to start to happen more in the future. So we're sort of on, again, work in progress, getting these things sort of, I don't even like to use the word legalized. It's more of identified and somewhat recorded into the system of what people have with this kind of stuff for their businesses.
I mean, for me, the question is, if these did qualify as storage containers, I mean, would we be okay with them being there,
Well, that's
given
what
the area?
that's what I'm saying. As far as if these are the same, are they 20-foot normal storage contain? You know, the shipping containers, because they're in storage shipping technically. So they're just on a small trailer that's low to the ground. So how many feet off the ground are they? Like 2 feet, 1.5 feet? I'm not trying to be definitive, but if they're only 1.5 feet or so, then that's
that sounds about right.
That's not an issue. That's actually a benefit. So it's
normal,
easier to move them, dealing with picking them up with a forklift and all the stuff that goes along with these things. So you just don't go pick them up. I can tell you that.
No, it's kind of a production just to get them from the ground onto trailers. But now that they're on trailers, they're going to stay there.
Okay, so second question, and then I'll open it up for everyone else. I just want to ask staff this. Similar to R1 with the, I think it was either the covenant or something that we never put in the R1 because we were getting rid of R1 and we had to do something with that with the place on
over off Sparks, I remember a few years ago. Is this not in RC2 because we're phasing it out? So we
Yes.
just never put it in, because you can do anything in RC2 except the hotel.
Yeah, and-
So it's like, that's weird. I figured it had to do with the fact that we were phasing it, so we didn't add it.
Some new uses that have been added have not been included in RC2. A few uses that existed have been taken out of RC2. I mean, the point is to incentivize people to move to another district. And this,
I understand, but
this
this was an unforeseen thing, I would
I
assume.
don't know about that, but.
Well,
this
I
could-
meant when we would have had to put it in the last couple of years if we were gonna, is what I'm trying to say.
Right, but a focus of the master plan is to move people out of RC2, as we all know. And this particular property owner has been cooperating with us. He's been meeting with us. And you'll be having a public hearing on the 29th to consider moving this property to CN, where storage containers are used that can be permitted.
But
So-
he will
so-
stay in RC2 because he wants to stay in RC2, as Sarah testified.
Only
Has a
because
freeze
he
plan.
has the freeze for 8
Yeah.
years, and then he'll be in CN.
Do we already have a freeze plan here?
Yes,
How many years?
that happened in 2024.
Okay.
Yeah, but just to be clear with the freeze plan, your zoning does change, but the zoning in effect at the time of the freeze is what governs if you choose to use it.
Uses.
But you have to across the board use it or across the board use the new district. You can't pick and choose
Right.
between lots. You can't pick and choose
I
between uses.
see.
You have to go with one or the other.
So, right. I
Okay,
understand.
all right.
Dave has his hand up.
Dave, go ahead.
Sarah. What have you done to us? I mean, I love your creativity. I hate the fact that this could be opening this up for other people to use. So
Well, I
and-
didn't draft that part of the bylaw. I didn't draft the part of the bylaw.
No,
that-
but you were smart enough to realize that if it was on a trailer, it was a different different thing.
Okay.
And so, and I guess to staff, so if we approve a zoning change here, they still are operating under RC2 rules, correct? Because that's the zoning district they're going to change. We can't say, okay, well, now you're CN and you can have storage containers and will you come back in and let's do this right? That's not really an option here, right?
So they can choose for the subdivision if they want to move ahead and use the zoning bylaw requirements in effect at the time for RC2,
Yeah.
or if they want to switch and apply CN. I mean, there may be incentives to them moving to CN and abandoning the RC2. There are other commercial uses that are available. There are other residential uses that are available. I mean, we don't know. That's entirely up to the applicant. That's their choice, but they
Yeah, no.
get to make a choice between one or the other, but not both.
What size are these lots?
Because,
Are they 5? They are.
because what I would like to see is
Are they 5?
approve this, and if he chooses to change to CN and surrender his RC2 freeze, that he comes back before us and converts these to regular storage containers and we permit them as such. I don't know if that's doable or not. I guess that's a question to staff. I mean, I think that would be, for me, the perfect world, but I'm not sure if it's possible.
Dave, are you asking them to, when you say convert to containers, do you mean to eliminate the trailer?
Well,
I want to go look at this. I think that sounds like a positive
I went to look at it.
kind of, you know,
I went to
certainly
look at it.
not. Yeah.
It's really, it's consistent with the neighborhood is what I would say. Sarah, it's too bad you didn't have them put on pontoons because then it would be boat storage, which is
I
legal.
know, right?
Or cows and horses.
So I don't have a problem with this. I mean, I had a lot of questions, but then I went to look at it and I didn't have a problem. My only concern is, would the neighbors be really unhappy? I didn't understand why the screening was in the back when there's a house to one side and it's not screened. I don't know if you had any comment about that.
I think that whole neighborhood's in flux and too.
Yeah.
And so I think it's hard to really make a good choice or decision here until we really know what direction that neighborhood's going.
I'm not asking for more screening, Dave. I'm just noticing that they're saying they're going to put a hedge.
I'm not opposed to screening.
Or are you saying that it's already there, Sarah?
No, what I'm saying is I think it's hard to really decide what the best thing to do with these are until we really see what the character of the neighborhood is when it starts to really be developed.
So the houses, and I don't know if Paul can chime in here, but we're 8 feet off our back line, and that's where we were proposing to put the screening. The lots as you come up the road, those are the lots that are still controlled by my client on the right and left-hand side. So the affected properties are to the immediate east and west, and they're, I would say, a good 100 feet or more away, and under the bylaw, as I recall, I'd have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure under the bylaw, if you're more than 75 feet away, you don't have to do any screening. And I think there's some native, for lack of a better word, vegetation that comes into play there.
Okay. All right.
I don't have a problem with this, but I would like to keep the 2-year review.
I don't mind
agree with that.
I don't mind 2-year review. I just don't want the permit to completely evaporate in 2 years.
Well, it says we would have to extend it with a public hearing, so staff would be sure to make sure that it.
Well, and I just had a thought on the 2 years. Special permits were valid for 2 years up until maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. So under statute, a special permit's valid for 3 years. So why don't we change the 2 to 3? That'll give them a little more time to figure out maybe a long-term plan.
Okay.
And
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't mean
need to come
interrupt.
back to the planning board to extend it.
Mr. Chair, can I ask Sarah
go ahead.
through you? Sir, what is he intending on storing in these?
He stores his the stuff that he uses to construct things with. So he's got tools, lumber.
No chemicals, nothing that can leak, nothing that can.
No, nothing toxic.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to add to the condition
Currently
that.
add a condition that says that we can't store any hazardous waste or,
Yeah, I would like to add that in if we could, because we are
Yeah,
in
of course.
we are in the recharge district there and not far from the wellhead. So
Right.
I
Yeah,
think
no, we
that
don't
would
want
be
to
appropriate.
bring anything.
Yeah, great. If we could add that condition, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to change condition 4 to 3 years,
2.
right?
2 to 3.
Add a condition 5.
And also change from property owner to, right, she wants to modify condition. Oh, okay.
Okay. And
Yeah,
when I
to
asked
property
about the lot
owner.
size, I wasn't saying the zoning, I meant the
It's-
actual lot. So it's like 19,000. Oh, it is? Okay, because it says that in the thing, so that's why I was wondering.
Sure.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Howard.
And to address Sarah's other question about the ownership versus the user, typically I've just added the words and affiliates or and wholly owned affiliates, but whatever you feel is appropriately descriptive.
Okay.
Emily.
I see now what's going on. Okay, Emily, hi, sorry.
That's okay. Thank you. Emily Molden for the Nantucket Land and Water Council. I initially was supportive of the idea of a time limit. So whether that's the 2 or 3 years, I think just particularly because of the unique way that this is being permitted, that I think that's a good idea. I also just wanted to support what Dave suggested as an additional comment as far as what's being stored in the containers and on the site, because it is in the wellhead district. So I think that that's great to know on the on any permit. And then I think just a couple questions, one for clarification. I know that there's an upcoming hearing to discuss future zoning district change to this lot and the surrounding lots. And I thought that that was noticed as either moving to R5 or CN or CMI. So I just wasn't sure if those were still all on the table. Maybe this one is thought to be going towards CN. But then just a bigger picture question to, I guess, the planning board or to staff is this sort of a new use that should somehow be incorporated or regulated differently in these zones? And it would be great to have that conversation moving forward, and just to know that you guys are thinking about how to do that. Thank you.
Remember when it was about shop trailers? And I mean, it's just this part of life here to keep this stuff undercover and keep people working. So, yes, Campbell, how are
Hi,
you?
Campbell Sutton. So when I was looking at this earlier as to Emily's comment, I think it looks more like it would end up in commercial neighborhood. R5 isn't going to work at all in those 3 properties anyway. I think it's 9, 11, and 13 are up for rezoning. And the CMI doesn't allow for the storage containers. So just by default, I think it ends up in CN. And then I'm wondering, as Ms. Alger mentioned, there's no definition for trailer storage or a storage trailer. So I'm wondering 2 things. 1, does that mean that we should be looking at a definition? Or 2, given that it's RC2 and that's one frozen, so we're about 7 years out. In 7 years, would it go back to storage containers? Do you see what I mean? Like if this is being approved with the trailer and it remains in the frozen RC2?
I think, personally, how I would go with that, answering that, is this height issue.
Well, right, because now it's
If
instead
they're
of
low
8
to the
foot,
ground and these
it's
trailers are special,
almost-
I don't know how the language could work. But I think that if this is gonna be something that we're gonna see more of these
Mhm.
with the low trailer close to the ground, we have to make a provision for that. Cause
Yeah,
it's
10
helping,
feet.
it helps everybody. It's
Yeah.
not just the owner. It's
Well,
good
right,
that
but
they
that's
can
why I was
move it.
wondering whether we needed a definition for storage
I
trailer.
think we have to, they'll come up with something. I think we need to have a separate, it can't be just any trailer. It can't be a standard 4.5, a regular flatbed is like 5 feet, just so you
Right,
know,
right.
from the ground. It can't be
Yeah.
one of those. It has to be something really low.
Well, that's why I was thinking
So-
with this finding, saying something about height, because if
Yeah.
this idea gets out ahead of
Yeah.
any future definition, if the finding here starts with a 10-foot height, then I think to be no more
Some
than
kind
10
of
feet,
not to
that would.
exceed trailer height, something. There's a way they
Well,
can
right,
do
but I'm
this.
just saying in this finding, that would set the precedent that you could utilize for the future.
Yeah.
Instead of having to rehash it each time. Thank you for your
Is it
time.
possible? I mean, I don't even know if this is necessary. I'm not asking for this, but we got to go find out how tall these are, and work on some language. You know, adding a foot to the height of a trailer like of those containers is not a lot. 1.5 feet. That's pretty good, and the guys made a huge effort, and it's actually better. I mean, there'll be more people doing this over time, so I think it's good to get ahead of it. So the 5th condition, you guys have that covered? Okay, is there anybody else in the public? Bill, I called you Bill.
I don't know if that's the right thing.
No hands online.
Um,
You can call me anything.
Mr. Acting Chair.
Okay, yes, go ahead,
I-
Hillary.
Sarah,
Yes.
yeah, so I'm just looking at page 7 in our, packet and comparing to page 6. And page 6 shows where the trailers are going to be parked. And then page 7 shows the plan and the abutting property. And so that was I just want to make sure that we're not approving something which we would normally require screening for. And we're losing sight of the fact that there's number 11 Hinsdale Road. Are you saying that the business owner and trailer owner also now owns number 11 Hinsdale Road? Is that what you said?
Which is number 11?
It's on the plot plan on page 7. And it says it's owned by Richard E. Holgate, trustee.
Then no. Let me
They
look.
have this.
I don't have your
building-
packet open, but let me see if I can do that.
Yeah,
quickly.
this building here really has a direct view of those trailers. And I mean, there's a lot of stuff stored on all of the lots, but I do think generally, you see what I mean?
Which place? Oh, over there?
Yeah.
Okay. No,
And
we
then
don't
you can-
control that. That's pretty far away though. Now, if you look at 139, I mean, not that you want to, but just for kicks. Take a look at 139.19, which is screening of parking areas, driveways, and off-street loading facilities. It says parking areas with 5 or more spaces on a lot shall be effectively screened on each side adjoining or fronting on any street and or abutting property by a wall fence or densely planted compact hedge not less than 3 feet nor more than 8 feet, except where the closest point is at least 75 feet from the nearest abutting property line. I mean, I think there's screening there already. Isn't there already like a bunch of shrub?
There's shrubs in the back where you're showing the hedge to be planted, but it's really kind of open at the sides.
Okay, well, I mean, if you want us to plant something, I guess we'll plant something if we're within 75 feet. I mean, it's got to be better than what he's looking at now.
I just want to be consistent.
Yeah,
you
no,
know.
I understand.
I'm putting the GIS aerial up for you all to see right here.
It would be great if you could drag Paul over here. He's really getting a free pass on this. He's the guy who knows.
Paul on there?
Paul Santos? Yes,
Yeah.
sorry. His hand is up.
Yeah.
Paul, I'm just gonna allow you to talk. Is that okay?
Oh, you couldn't get him to.
I mean, I can move him over.
No, that's fine. I'm here. Hello?
Yes, we
Yep,
can hear
hear
you,
you.
Paul.
Oh, great. I'm sorry. I had my hand up for a while, Sarah, so I wasn't letting you flounder out there alone. So Hillary, to your question about the screening, I mean, ultimately, this is a 3-lot subdivision that was approved that Sarah had mentioned. This lot where the spaces are occurring in what will ultimately be a parking lot, but there'll be in the future buildings on either side of the 2 areas you're talking about. And that's why I didn't screen those particular areas, Hillary. There is some natural screening that's out there, but ultimately, each side of those, what is now where the 5 spots for the trailers are, would be 2 buildings on either side of that particular area that would screen that center parking lot from the abutting properties. So the back line would ultimately have to be screened because we trigger the 5 spaces or more condition within the parking regulations.
Thank you. So I'm going to So we're approving storage, not a parking lot. And I guess I'm going to conclude that maybe it's not important to have screening, even though, but I don't want to set a precedent that we allow storage that isn't screened, because typically when people have temporary storage containers around and they're neighbors and it's residential, we do require screening, but there is some vegetation there, and it's just a lot. The area is very much in flux. So I'm not going to propose that we require additional screening, even though we
Okay.
typically do and will in the future. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, it's not, I like to say built out, but it's
Right.
not decided yet. This is a piecemeal scenario, which a lot of them are. I mean, we have to think, it's not like, even Coffin Pit was a piecemeal, even though it was all decided in one big plan. It took time for it to develop. Okay.
Before we go on, can Paul
Yeah.
just tell you how high off the ground these trailers are? Because you've seen them, Paul.
Sure. I mean, it's no higher than it's whatever the distance would be from the ground to the center of an axle. They're not, it's a standard low body trailer.
Yeah. So the trailer, the trailer, oh my God, the storage container sits in the middle and the wheels are behind it. Like a low boy kind. Yeah. This is a good thing. We need to work this into the, system, because it makes sense. Okay. Do we have anyone else with their hands up here? Okay. Is this a special
I
permit?
think we can make a motion to.
It is?
close.
Gosh.
Should
Yeah, so
activate
to
too.
activate
Okay.
Conditions
Howard,
just
we'll
before.
activate you, Howard. We'll activate Steve. Steve, are you still there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, sorry. Okay. So I'll accept a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion, second.
All those in favor? Dave,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Howard,
Aye.
Hillary,
Aye.
chair votes aye. Almost said John. Okay. Anyone have any more comments before we make a motion with the new changes?
So make a motion to approve the special permit request with the finding in the staff report and the conditions, making changes to condition 3 to correct the language specifying the property owner. As you got that right?
Yep.
Yep. And changing the condition in 4 that it's valid for 3 years.
Yep.
And adding a 5th condition that nothing toxic or hazardous material be stored on the site.
Okay. Is there a second to that?
Second.
Okay, seconded by Steve. All those in favor, Hillary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Howard,
Aye.
the chair votes aye.
Great.
Okay, Sarah, thank you. Paul, thank you. Okay. Let's see here. All right. 20, where are we?
So we're at 3
Oh.
Manatuck.
Yeah.
So this is
moving
a
around
special
little
permit
bit.
as well.
Okay.
And I can give a quick overview on this one, and we do have the property owner on the call as well.
I moved
Uh,
Dean over, but
okay.
yeah, if you want to.
If you could pull up the plan, Billy.
Yep.
So
This is off of New Street, Wisconsin on the left, right?
it's off of Nantucket, which is off of New Street, Wisconsin. So it's a
Well, that's what
small private dirt road
yeah, I
that
know.
services 3 lots.
That's what I meant.
Yep. Yep.
This is Broughton's whole
Yeah.
property. Okay.
So there actually is an existing second curb cut in that location. It just hasn't been there in 10 years. The owner is doing some new construction on the property, cleaning up the access, and would like to proceed with a U-shaped driveway. And in order to do so, requires a special permit for a second driveway access from the planning board. question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So my question is about this little proprietor's way that runs along the edge of the lot. Is that a, do you know what I'm talking about? Is that the one behind it? Well, the owner is on, so maybe we could hear from the owner, but there's a little proprietor's way there. So I'm just wondering, is that also effectively an opening or a lane? What is that?
Is it the strip shown on the bottom?
Yes,
Hillary?
it's this.
So that's not a proprietor's way. That's an existing driveway access, and what's overlaid, well, I guess the proposed structure. This site plan's a little bit different. We should view.
This is the septic plan. I think I
Yeah.
had him send that, or septic plan
My
there.
question is just, is this also an opening and is this going to get
Yes,
landscaped?
it's a current opening
And it's gonna
that's going to be
stay?
closed.
It's going to be closed.
in favor of
The
what's
proposed
on
second.
what's on the screen here.
Yes.
Yes.
So that little area where that shrub is to the right, that is currently an opening. It's
Yes.
going
Yeah.
to be closed.
Yes.
Thank you. I did notice that there was a letter from the neighbor up the street, and that was appreciated by me. I don't know if anyone else appreciated it. I appreciated it.
This is just an old area that's same as the Bohms. It's just growing a little because it's just the land is there and that's what happens. So I think this is pretty good. So the people at the end, their letter was good, Hillary?
They didn't have a problem.
Okay.
They didn't bother them. I mean, generally, we don't want two curb cuts because it just opens up more views onto the property from public ways. It's it's just less of a Nantucket pattern of development. It creates conflicts potentially with pedestrians and vehicles. So I don't know how.
In this particular
board members
place,
felt.
it's more about, probably just existing conditions and improving it, I would assume.
You'll need to activate 2 on this as well.
Yep.
Mhm.
Abby? Are you there? We'll activate you if you're there. If not,
I'm here, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. You and we'll activate Howard on this one. Sorry, I'm just trying to be, straightforward with this as best I can. Does anyone have any more questions about this? The public hearing. Curb cuts are always, kind of individual, my opinion, over 20 years of looking at these things, and they're all kind of their own thing. So if everybody's happy with it, that's good news. Not like one on New Mill Street or something like that. That requires a lot of debate. Okay. Anyone have any questions from the board? We'll accept the motion to close the public hearing if there's no one else, nobody online. Okay.
Do we have a parking plan for this? Like where the necessary parking spots are going to be? It's just a one residence, one dwelling on this property, right? And so they, how many, so I see, so they have 2 parking spot, how many parking spots are required?
I have to look that up. But that's something
Well, this
that
is gonna get,
the building inspector
they're
will
building a
review.
new dwelling here.
Yeah.
So they're just,
Yeah.
this is a tear down situation.
Oh,
So
I'm
that's
assuming.
that's the new proposed
Yeah,
configuration.
seems
So the
like.
building inspector will review parking compliance as a part of their review.
so what
look
we're
at the area.
seeing
It
is
looks like
we're not actually seeing,
It's
we're
not
being
an
asked for
as-built.
the additional curb cut before we see what's going on the lot.
So what's on,
They've got
can
the
you
new
put that
houses
back
there.
up on the screen, please?
If you
Billy?
go to the second, go
What's
to number
on-
8 and then go to 9, it'll give you a good idea of what's going on.
What's on your screen right now, Hillary? If you go back, yep, that one, that's what's being proposed. to be
Right.
on the lot. It's under,
I see.
it's currently under construction.
And it's a single, so that's what.
Yes, it's
yeah.
a single family dwelling.
So we are
That's
being
correct.
shown what it's going to be, and it is a
Yes.
single
Yeah.
family dwelling.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else from board members? We'll accept the motion to close.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is that Dave?
Yeah, that was me.
So, all those in favor of closing, Abby,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Hillary,
Aye.
Howard,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. Thank you. Is there any, did we add anything? We didn't add anything to this, right? The findings and conditions are good the way they are.
Mhm.
Okay, now that everyone's clear what they're doing, so that's good. Okay, so I'll accept the motion to approve. Is someone?
So moved.
Second.
By Abby. Okay, so all those in favor, Dave,
Aye.
Abby,
Aye.
Hillary,
No.
Howard,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. Okay, let's see. 18, James Vaughn, 18 and 20 Somerset Lane. Lane is the paved. Road is the dirt and paved.
Can I just make
That's
sure, before we
how you know
continue
the
on
difference.
with the next three?
Yep.
Because they're all subdivision applications that no one has to recuse on any. Because we can't activate alternates for the next three,
Oh,
right? And you need to have three people
okay.
vote
Oh,
in favor.
and
and
we also need
participate.
to, okay, I
So
know
I
what
just
you're
want to make
asking.
sure that no one has
Dan,
any issues with the next
yeah,
three.
we haven't had this in a while. That's good point. So
Mhm.
if anyone has, do you want a general consensus of what everyone
Yeah,
feels
just in
like
case
first?
there's somebody waiting in
Then
the
we need to
audience for one of
continue.
these three, it just occurred to me that,
Yeah,
you know, so long as no one has to recuse.
they all
from
have the same dates.
1820 Somerset Lane, we're all good with that one. 1 Pulpus Road, are we all good with that one?
Yeah, you've got
50
all the, and
the
you
re-
have all the information of
Yep.
the exist previous zoning there and
Yep.
all the things we've
And-
done, because there's a lot of stuff with, I don't know, from the past.
Yep, and
That should people
yep.
might have questions.
And 57 Surfside Road, 4 Windy Way, no one needs to recuse from that either, right? Okay,
No,
all right, just wanted to make sure.
and, but on the other hand, we need to make sure that we don't have any issues with 3 people. So,
Well,
No,
I
it's a
think if
quorum.
maybe one.
no,
per-
I know that, but.
So you're
s-
saying if one person's
one
maybe
person's
not.
in
yeah.
disagreement, they're gonna have to continue. You can't just have a denial on 3 people.
Yeah.
That's like unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's not fair to the applicant.
I just wanted to make sure.
And they all have the same action deadlines, which is good.
Yes.
Okay, so Dan,
Evening, Dan Malloy for the applicant. So we have 18 and 20 Somerset Lane. This one's a little different than typical applications. So it's an approval required subdivision. It was last approved back in the early 80s. There's been question whether or not the subdivision and its conditions were ever fully acted upon. And if they hadn't been fully acted upon, whether or not the subdivision was still valid and or if the lots had merged. So there's a few different questions lingering out there. So our intention, let me back up, the intention of what we're going forward to is to take what was a 2-lot subdivision back in the 80s and convert it to a rear lot subdivision. So that's where we'd like to head. In order to get there, we're asking for the board to reaffirm essentially what was already approved so we can move on to the rear lot subdivision application. The plan in front of you, we've tweaked some of the line work to show that it's complying with all of today's zoning requirements, to the regularity factor, frontage. Back when this was originally done, we think we know how it was done by frontage and zoning, but we don't have paperwork to show that it was done that way. So we've tweaked this layout a little bit. It's still 2 lots, essentially the same lot sizes and shapes, just tweaked them to make sure that the plan in front of you complies with today's zoning. That's the application. That's so, like I said, it's already been approved. We're just trying to update it so we can move on to a rear lot subdivision, which didn't exist back then.
So what you're doing here is this is all built.
So
We're
Crane
just
Court,
trying to,
Crane Court exists on paper. The two lots exist on paper. The house and the cottage, everything out front exists. The back lot is vacant. Because the subdivision was never fully completed, zoning has since changed, requirements have since changed. So the question of merger, so a few different zoning related questions came up. So we're trying to fix that and then go to a rear lot subdivision.
and I'm assuming that they're using Crane Court like it's already a real lot. Because I've never heard of it.
It's on paper. You're not going to find it listed.
I know, but I mean, like driving to people's house, I've never heard that name.
Right,
in
it
my
only
life.
exists on the original approval on the plan. It's not in
Yeah.
the GIS.
Right. It's not an address or any of
It's
that.
18 or 20 Somerset Lane.
That was my question. Got it. Okay. And this is down towards Hummock Pond.
Yes.
Partial, almost all the way. Okay. Wow. I don't know if I could call this housekeeping. This is a little bit beyond housekeeping.
It's
But a little
weird,
bit.
It's an odd situation. So like I said, we want to go to the way the rear lot bylaw reads, you need to have a plan endorsed by the board, which we do have a plan endorsed by the board because this was previously approved and endorsed. We met that criteria, but there's question whether or not all of that is enough, given the fact it's been so long, the subdivision was never completed and the time frame has expired.
So what, you said that some things changed since then so that the plan that was endorsed would not, it needed to be updated. Can you be specific about what needed to
So
be
back when
updated?
it was done originally, you needed 50, I believe it was either 50 or 75 feet of frontage.
Mhm.
At that time, back then, you could do what was called frontage averaging. To show that you were in compliance. And it's our understanding that that's what was done. However,
What was the zoning then? The R20 came out around 77.
It's on that plan
78.
somewhere.
So it's the same. It was
R2.
still well, they called it R2 then.
R2.
Yeah.
Well, the problem, so if you did
that's
if you use
one good
frontage
thing.
averaging today, there would be some record of how you utilized it to get your lots, whether it's recorded or in the approval. There would be a record of. We can't find the record in this case. Back
Mhm.
then, there wasn't a requirement to keep that record of it. Today, there is.
I see.
So we basically, what you see in the new plan is a small rounding at the end, just to confirm that the frontage is legitimate. It is there. In the event that that is questioned. So there's that. And then by making the change, there's a very minor tweak in some of the lot line between the two lots. That's a regularity factor adjustment. So there's all these things that didn't exist back then that exist now.
Okay. Things that you have to show it meets a
If,
standard.
well, there's two ways this could go. The board could, I think, reaffirm that the original approval on that plan had been endorsed is valid and can be used for rear lot subdivision. Or you could say we'd like an updated plan and you could vote to approve this and endorse this plan, which would then be our basis to move forward to a rear lot subdivision.
Okay.
So I think I noticed that the subdivision plan from 82 was limiting these to one dwelling per lot.
Yes, it was.
There was a lot of stuff back then that we, have since moved way beyond that.
I mean, are you saying that you'd like that's
Well, what we're asking is the board to reaffirm essentially reaffirm your past approval and acknowledge that that previously endorsed plan is acceptable, or you could vote, if you're agreeable to it, vote to approve the plan in front of you that's current. It has everything current with zoning. And then we can move forward to a rear lot special permit and discuss any other conditions or restrictions we'd like to go into.
I see. Can we compare what was approved to what? Oh, I see.
If you zoom in, you'll
Yeah.
see a rectangle shape at the end, or you see the curve. You have to really
Yeah,
zoom in
no,
on it
I
to
see
it.
I see. The Crane Court is actually longer in the original plan.
Correct. The Crane Court was just a rectangle originally.
Yeah. Right. You see it, Matt?
I'm looking.
It's on page 9 of the PDF is the.
Yeah, I'm looking at
oh,
the
yeah,
original. Yeah, I got it. Yep. Staff, what, I feel like we're going back to, before the Red Sox and the Mets, right? I mean, what are we doing here? What's your thoughts on this? I mean, I'm trying to think of something similar, and I'm remembering something out in the Henry Coffin, not in Henry, but in Henry Jr. There was something out there like this. I just can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I think that was before the cluster.
It's
subdivision
just,
out
this
there,
is
but-
something that is like, I think we need to have do the right thing. I mean, the best part about this is it's still the same zoning,
Yeah, I
which
think
is amazing.
in this case, the best way to proceed would be if the board's inclined to grant a new subdivision approval with waivers, to have that go through the process, and then to move forward to the rear lot, because as Dan mentioned, the record on this is not clear at all. And I wouldn't want the board to take any actions with a special permit for a rear lot that may be questionable.
Was there stuff not recorded? And, the conditions, not conditions, but whatever we put on this back then.
Back then, the record was extremely vague.
Pencil.
A
Faded.
little bit more than a
Number
pencil, but
3
not much.
pencil. Okay.
The approval's on record, but how you got to the approval is not.
So right now, when you look at Crane Court on this, it's just land. It's not,
If you go out there today, it's.
you'd never even know it was
You'd
there.
have no idea this exists.
Because that's what I'm thinking about what this looks like now in my head, and I don't.
Yeah,
I've never
if you drive
seen
there, it's
anything like
a
that.
grass driveway into the house and that's it.
And to be honest, the real lot, that's why we have it, is to make it look like like it's not paved and a road and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I'm fine with, is this registered land?
No, it's not.
Okay. I think this is, this is unusual, Dan. I mean, it's
It's an
not
unusual
surprising
case,
though,
but
but it's unusual
it's-
as far
It's
as.
exactly what a rear lot would have looked like if it existed back in the 80s.
Exactly. That's right. It's kind of like already a real lot, kind of. Without the name, on the road. I mean, I'm fine with what staff suggests. I just want to make sure that we cross every T and dot every I as far as, that's why I asked if it was registered.
That's why we're here.
So we
make
don't have to
sure
go to land
A new
court.
plan, a new application, so you're starting fresh without into the old paperwork that may or may not exist.
Okay.
I have a question. In the staff report, it says the roadway maintains a width of 49.01 feet.
That's the width that's shown on the original plan from 1982 and the width shown on the updated plan.
The width shown on the updated plan is 30 feet, right?
Oh my God, I see that.
I was just
49 feet.
confused by the 49 feet.
That's the layout.
Yeah,
49.
I was wondering if that was the layout.
It's gotta be. That's crazy. Oh my God. Okay.
That's the layout at the street with a round.
I was gonna say, it has to be something like that. It's not the actual, is it?
I'm
No,
just
it's not.
trying to find that in a
It says
drawing
30
that's in my
inside.
packet.
The
So-
Crane Court is a 30-foot wide way.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about.
That's
So
what I
that's
see in
just
this
for the-
picture. So is there a
Yeah.
picture somewhere that shows 49 feet?
If you zoom into the plan where the right of way hits the street, Somerset Lane,
Oh,
you'll see a
oh,
curve.
oh,
So
okay,
it's
got
where
it.
it flares out.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, got it.
I mean, this is like Mike's Way without Mike's Way. His actually has a name, but it's kind of the same thing, before we had the real lot. Wow. Okay.
So did Dave or Did you want to say anything?
No, I mean, I think that, I mean, it conforms with frontage, right? This is a viable plan. I think that we shouldn't use the old one. We should use the new one and accept that, or go through that process, and then he can rear lot it. But I think we should step this up into modern times.
Do we have a listing of the waivers that are being requested in this packet? I don't see them.
Did Catherine Lane exist when this was done? I don't think it did. Catherine Lane didn't exist when this was approved, I don't believe. I'm pretty sure it didn't.
We didn't file a list of waivers with this application. We weren't sure what how we'd want to act with this. If you're going to issue waivers, I could certainly provide that. If you wanted to see that, I could certainly make a list. It's not a problem.
You want to hear from Emily?
Oh, Emily.
Mr. Chair, real quick on the
Sorry.
waivers, we would need a list because you need to list those in your decision if you issue an approval.
Yeah, we don't have the list.
Thank you. Emily Molden, Nantucket Land and Water Council. That was actually going to be my question, just because I didn't see a list of waivers. I think it makes sense for the board to consider an updated plan, but I was just going to ask if that would require waivers, if they could be provided. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, we've had discussion. I know I haven't been on the board very long, but it's come up a number of times that we wanted to kind of step back and take a look at the way we were thinking about the rear lot subdivision, that it had to be a compliant subdivision, and we wanted to consider the waivers, which means we have to see them. I do have one question about the so the subdivision has been approved and you could go ahead and build it, right?
That's
It's
that's
like you're
part of the
not
debate.
sure.
I think it's questionable. So
I see.
the roadway lot the road was never constructed.
Mhm.
Frontage in the old plan no longer meets frontage requirements. That's outlined in the new plan. So there's a question, did these lots
So it's
merge or not
expired.
merge? And I think there's an argument either way, but to Dan's point, he's pursuing this path so that there's no argument. It's
Sort of
clear.
expired.
Mhm.
I would feel more comfortable taking this with a full board and having the waivers in front of us, given some of the recent conversations, and just as a matter of principle.
I agree.
If that's okay with you, Dan?
That's fine. We can, I'll continue. I just want to make sure there's no other
Would,
comments.
so
from
if
the
you
DC.
if this was all dirt right now, right, and you would be able to conform to our real lot subdivision regs to make this happen now?
Yes, this would be
Okay.
no different than starting from scratch with a 2-lot plan
Yeah.
on all the other ones.
I think
with a
that's
list
the
of
simple
waivers and
question
things.
in
Just
this
one
whole thing.
because it was done once already, it's a little different, but
Yeah.
the same general approach, the same end.
Okay. Okay.
Make a motion to
To continue?
continue.
Yeah, sorry.
To the 9th.
Of
Of February.
February.
Okay. Is there a second to that?
Second.
All those in favor? Hillary,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
did we activate people for that?
No, no.
Okay,
that's
the chair votes aye. Sorry. Oh my
We
God.
can't activate.
Okay, thank you. Okay. On to Island Lumber. Memory caps on for everything that's happened here over the years, because it's with Don Allen. Oh my God, all the different things. So,
I just want the eggs back. Can we get them to bring the eggs back?
so what are we doing now? Let's see.
So 1 Pulpus Road.
Yep.
This is a zoning freeze plan. So just a quick rundown on that. This is at the April town meeting, there was a zoning article passed for inclusionary housing. The owner of the property is in the process of looking into and trying to do some form of employee housing on site, and the inclusionary housing bylaw likely will conflict with what they're trying to do. So they're in a planning process to do some housing on the property. And the bylaw came through, so we did a freeze plan. The intent of the plan, so everybody's clear, of a zoning freeze plan shows a subdivision approval required, it has to show a road, it has to show 2 lots. It has to be in compliance with the regulations, so there's no waivers requested. It is clearly not a plan, if you look at it, that someone would want to fulfill or follow on. So what this would do, what would ask the board to review the plan, approve the application if you're interested in doing so. That will freeze the zoning. The plan itself never gets recorded. It doesn't go anywhere. The zoning is frozen from the date the board endorses the plan. So that plan gets put in a file someplace, never gets utilized again. Gives the applicant time to plan out what they want to do, so they come back to you with a different application. I can go into detail on the road, but it's a very simple cul-de-sac, 40-foot right-of-way, fully compliant cul-de-sac, fully compliant utility design. It meets all of the board's requirements, all the regulations, and does not require any waivers or any relief. We have no problem with the staff's recommendations in the staff report. We've done these plans with the board in the past, and this is commonly how it's handled.
In VN, there isn't much VN, so that's one of the reasons I wanted to make sure that we have every, question to be able to be answered to that as well. So, excellent. Okay. Does anyone have any questions?
Just one quick adjustment, and it was a typo on my behalf with the condition, with the first condition with both this one and 57 Surfside and 4 Windy Way. It should be comply with recommendations by Nantucket Fire and the town's consulting engineer.
Okay. Okay.
I moved over here, Nat.
Oh, sorry.
Just thought I'd
Sorry.
wake everybody up here for a minute. Okay, so I just wanted to check and see with Dan, because I go to Island Lumber a lot, and I saw where this building that I use is going to go away. And I thought, what are we doing? So they're not going to get out of the landscaping business, are they?
So this plan, for simplicity, is a work of fiction. This plan will
Yes.
never exist.
Okay.
The proposals on this plan will never happen. It's a permitting exercise and only a permitting exercise. So the road
Yeah.
will never be built. The building's not going away. In terms of how you're using the property today, that will not change.
Okay, great. That was my only concern. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. Anyone else have any questions? Is there anyone that hands up? Okay. We don't need alternates.
We can't have.
Oh, that's right. We already talked about that. Sorry.
Motion to close the public hearing?
Yep. Is
Second.
there a second? Dave?
Yeah.
Okay. All those in favor, Hillary?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you. Sorry about that. So
Are we proposing at this town meeting to change the zoning in this area? Are you proposing?
no, we already did.
No.
Well, in this particular,
So it's kind of a long timeline process, right? To get the freeze plan submitted. So you first come in with a preliminary plan, and then you have to, so that needs to be stamped in with the town clerk prior to town meeting. Then you must follow up within 7 months with a definitive plan, and the particular zoning change that they're freezing, the old zoning is the inclusionary housing bylaw.
it's the piece of the
Yes.
zoning. It's not the actual zoning. It's something
Yeah,
that
it's
was
not
a
the
provision.
district. It
Okay.
has to do with a bylaw change.
Okay.
So when you do a zoning freeze, it not only protects you with changes to the district, it protects you against any bylaw changes as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Good point. That's it. Okay. Did you make a motion?
I
No.
made a motion just to close the
Okay.
public hearing.
And I think we already did that. So Dave or Hillary, you want to make a motion to endorse?
I'll make that motion to endorse.
Second,
All those in favor, Dave?
It's actually just, it's to approve, not to endorse.
To approve,
just-
okay,
to approve.
sorry.
Yeah.
With the
Sorry.
findings and conditions.
With the findings and, yep,
Mhm.
and yes.
Second.
We didn't add anything, okay. Motion made by Dave, seconded by Hillary. Dave,
Aye.
Hillary,
aye.
and the chair votes aye. Thank you very much.
Thank
for
you.
that. Good learning exercise as well.
Well, we got another one, just like
I know. Well, this one, we've been waiting for a while. I'm kind of excited about this.
Preliminary plan, yes.
All
Mhm.
right, Dan Malloy again. So this time 57 Surfside Road and 4 Windy Way. This is another zoning freeze, the exact same intent as the application just approved. So Matt, there's no follow-up to this right now that's going to show you some master plan at the moment.
Yep.
Again, a simple approval required subdivision application with 2 lots, a cul-de-sac, fully compliant, no waivers requested. Again, looking to do the zoning freeze for the same bylaw or inclusionary housing that you just voted to approve on aisle number at 1 Pulpus Road.
I'm sure I'm missing something, but I was just a little confused about the regularity on lot 2.
So meaning does it comply or?
It says am I misreading it? It says it's 0.41.
That's gotta be I'm sure it's a typo.
I mean, it's a
definitely-
really weird shaped lot because this the town owns a chunk of something.
While he's
Swap.
looking that up, the regularity only applies to the minimum lot area for the district. It doesn't apply to the entire lot.
Correct.
So that may be the regularity for the whole lot, but that's not what counts. It's just for the either 7,500 or 5,000, whichever district that's in, because this lot's split, right, between 2 districts.
That's correct. So there's a typo on the plan. That's likely the regulated for the entire lot. So we'll have to correct that in the plan.
Okay. So I'm not crazy.
That looks like a typo to me, yes.
Okay. So that could be corrected. I mean, it is a very strange looking lot. So it didn't surprise me that was the regularity.
What should have been there is a dash line going through the lot someplace defining what regularity was based on.
Oh, there is a dash line.
There isn't one specifically defining regularity, so we'll have to correct that in the plan.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anyone have any questions?
So this
About
is
this?
exactly the same scenarios what we
So-
just went through?
Exactly, yes.
And this was coming. I mean, this isn't
Yeah, no,
It's
there's just some
different
following
as-
up on a.
It's the same as the
preliminary
other
one.
one, but not the same, meaning this,
Yeah.
this has been coming for a while. It just hasn't happened yet. So,
Okay,
and this is good. This is what needs to happen in this area, this land that used to be heavy commercial before zoning. Dave, you all set?
I'm good with this, yeah.
Okay. I'll accept the motion to close. Is
So
there any
moved.
right now? No, okay.
No, there are no hands.
Is there a second? Sorry,
second
to close.
to close the public hearing?
Yep. Is, all those in favor, Dave,
Aye.
Hillary,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. On the findings and conditions,
So what are they freezing?
Again, they're
It's the same Article 51 inclusionary housing bylaw.
I see.
yep. That part, but I'm just glad to see something on paper here, Dan. This is a separate mindset of mine with this land and how it got everything. It's just good. I'm glad about this. So does anyone have anything? We'll accept the motion.
Make a motion to approve the plan with the findings and conditions listed in the staff report.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll
And with
second
the
that.
understanding that any typos on the plan will be corrected.
Yes.
Okay, is there a second, Dave?
Yes. Second.
Thank you. All those in favor, Hillary,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Thank you so much. All right. We'll move on to 9 Knobska Way. Oh, let's see. Now, are we activating?
Do.
That's
If
what I
you're
thought.
if you're gonna
It's
make a
just realized.
decision.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
this is, we've already had this
I think-
going and go ahead.
I feel so bad because I know there are people waiting and we can have a discussion, but I don't feel like we can,
Oh, you're saying not the full board. Is that what
well,
you're saying?
I guess I'm just putting that out there because this is, been going on for some time. I don't know. What does everybody else think?
Well, I think didn't we come up with a plan for this that's a little different? I don't know.
We spent a
Matt?
long time talking about.
But it's been a while since we've discussed this.
Should we just get into it?
Well, may I, Mr. Chair?
Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, I'm sensing that Hillary isn't really sure about this and I'm not sure it's fair to the applicant if she's concerned that we really move forward and then not have, a full board vote on this.
Sorry, it's not that I have concerns. It's that I just want to make sure that we follow through on the various questions that were raised before. And there were a lot of people in the public who had concerns. And one of the things that we discussed as a board at length was if we encourage the 3-lot subdivision with the limitation on the number of structures, we would also be requesting a deed restriction on. We talked about that and it wasn't in the staff report. So that was something that I had flagged to bring up. And, I know that John had a lot of thoughts about that and Joe had a lot of thoughts about that. And maybe we can hear from people. It is a public hearing. But that's why I mentioned that we might want to wait.
Do the alternates have to get activated as soon as you open or?
No.
Okay.
No.
So we could have a discussion, open the meeting, have a discussion.
Yeah.
And then-
And continue.
Possibly continue or possibly move forward.
Yep, and
Yeah.
then the two, Joe and John would have to mull it in.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is
That's
easy now.
fine with us and we can have a discussion and see where it goes and
Yeah.
decide after that where to go. That's fair.
I think that's a good idea.
So again, Dan Malloy for the applicant, 9 Knobska Way. So we've had some discussions about this application already. The board has already approved a 3-lot approval required application here. So the board's essentially looked at this in quite detail. We've had a lot of discussions already. We've looked at it and decided at the last meeting, not decided, but certainly had a deep discussion about there's 3 lots, or we could do 2 lots as an A&R plan. And the discussion at the time was they could do a 2-lot A&R plan with a max of 6 dwellings, which would be more of a market rate scenario. Or they could come back to you with what we're doing now with the rear lot subdivision, do 3 lots. And what we had talked about before was looking at restricting of 2 dwellings each, essentially relating it back to the same 6-lot total that would have as an approval required plan.
2
And
dwellings on 1 and 3.
2 dwellings on each lot, so you'd have a max of 6 dwellings
Okay.
on the 3-lot scenario. As the same dwelling count you'd have if we did 2 lots as an A&R. So there's a 2-lot A&R option, which would have 6 dwellings. Or there's a 3-lot rear lot, which is in front of you, which could be restricted to the same 6 dwellings. So from a density standpoint, dwelling standpoint, we end up in the same place.
Right. I mean, so where, the thing that I brought up earlier was about the year-round restriction that we had discussed.
Right, so the applicant, well, the applicant's certainly willing to go for the 2-lot restriction. So we end up in the same place, but we're not really looking to do a further restriction on the property.
Okay, so you're not willing to do the 3-lot, you're not willing to deed restrict any, are you telling me that you are not willing to deed restrict any of the 3 lots?
Yes.
To year round? Okay,
That's
because
correct.
that is definitely not what we discussed before.
Never mind. No, go ahead.
I mean, I
This
did,
was-
I looked at the minutes, I reviewed the
Yeah,
discussion,
but-
and we were going to put that in when we did the subdivision approval.
Yeah.
But we specifically said, let's talk about that when we issue the special permit. You know, the 3 lots on, if you did the A and R, 2
You have to
lots
tear the
with
house
3
down, that's the
dwellings,
problem.
it would be, if you did 3 dwellings, it would be deed restrict, it would be, need to be owner occupied. So it's really not if the idea is like, well, we're doing a fair swap, I don't think that's, I don't know, somebody help me out here. Dave has his hand up.
So I think that, as you notice, I'm sure you've looked, well, you might not have seen it yet, but we cannot demand a year-round deed restriction. As the rear lot is written right now, and we're working to change that. So any request is really just a request or a suggestion. So I guess it's up to us as a board to decide what is better for this neighborhood. Is it better to give them 3 lots and restrict to 2 dwellings per lot, or is it better to let them do an A&R and get 2 lots at full build out? The applicant's well within their right to say no, and we to year-round restrictions, and we, I don't think, are in a position to punish them for that. But I think that our ability to restrict year-round hopefully will happen after the next town meeting cycle. So we did discuss it, and you're 100% right. We're just not within our rights to demand it, if that makes sense, Hillary.
So was this some further, thank you, Dave, was this some further research that happened after the meeting?
Pretty much. Am I accurate on that, staff? I'm not misrepresenting, am I?
No, I had a verbal conversation with town council after that meeting, at some point, you know, in response to both this and just ongoing discussions that the board had been having about year-round restrictions in general. And I was advised that it's a gray area to be requiring year-round restrictions when it's not explicitly stated in the zoning bylaw. So that is why the planning board is going to be sponsoring an update to the rear lot subdivision provision of the bylaw, where it clearly notes that the board may, when
May.
appropriate, require
Right.
year-round deed restrictions on any new lots created. But as of right now, that's not into effect. It's going to require
Okay.
town meeting approval.
Because that is what we talked about. It said there was debate for a 3-lot subdivision that offers, the 3-lot subdivision would offer oversight, design control, and potential for year-round restrictions versus the 2-lot A&R that would give the board no leverage and could lead to higher density through by right development.
Yeah.
But
It slipped through our fingers, unfortunately, Hillary. I agree. I would love to be able to mandate that, but we unfortunately cannot mandate it. So,
Well, if we go with the 2-lot A&R, then if they would get 2 dwellings by right on those lots, and the third one would need to be owner occupied.
only if it was not
that's
owner occupied. If it was owner occupied,
residential now.
if it's owner occupied, I don't think we can have a
That's not
year-round
the
restriction.
intent of what.
If it's owner occupied year round, then they could have 3. If it's not owner occupied. then-
Owner occupied isn't defined as there's 2 different definitions. I think owner occupied's 3 months, right, staff? And year round is 10. So if they're
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
and-
a,
I mean,
Owner
there,
occupied is what?
there are other housing options too. It seems like Hillary, you may be referring to primary, secondary, tertiary,
Yeah,
but
that's
there's,
what she's saying.
you
Yeah,
know,
that is.
complex with an ADU, a primary, secondary with an ADU. I mean, the ADU sort of changes that possible makeup and possible requirements for
Right, but-
year-round housing.
Yeah.
And the other thing, you know, we were really concerned at the staff level after your last discussion about like, what's the rational
We're pushing
nexus
the gas
between
down on that.
the 3 lots and requiring year-round occupancy, which is why we had the chat with town council about it.
Yeah.
And we also had concerns about, there's no notice to applicants that may be a restriction. I mean, that's something that sort of came out of left field. And if that's something that the planning board wants to pursue in the future, I mean, year-round housing is certainly something at the staff level that we support, but people need to understand that that may be something that they're going to be asked to provide, and it needs to be identified.
I completely agree. I mean, my recollection is that it was discussed and offered.
we kind of got ahead of ourselves, to be polite. We were getting
Well,
sort of
now we
like,
got to get back on
we were
track.
sort of like a kid and, pushing his parents' cart around and throwing stuff in. So
Well, we were hopeful.
here's
Christy has her hand up.
Christy, go ahead. Sorry. I'm not turning around and seeing all that.
Hi, thank you, Christy Ferrantella. I'm just catching up on the changes since the last time this was heard, and I'm just wondering, has there been no offer of deed restrictions by the homeowner, or is staff just recommending we don't move forward with the request?
So staff is recommending that it could potentially be illegal to require year-round deed restrictions. Any restrictions would be completely voluntary by the applicant. And I believe Dan just stated at this time, they're not volunteering that restriction.
But what the applicants look agreeable to right now is what's in the staff report, which essentially limits each lot to 1 dwelling, which with an allowed ADU would cut us back to the 2 dwellings per lot, the primary dwelling and an ADU. And that's the conditions in the staff report, and we're certainly agreeable to that.
And we've already approved this subdivision.
The subdivision was approved with a roadway and 3 lots.
Right.
With the intent, that approval was granted with the intent and understanding we're coming back to you with the permit in front of you for the rear lot special permit.
So I just want to be really, really clear, because we keep talking about the ADU, and we will hopefully by town meeting have clarified the bylaw around ADUs, bringing us into compliance with the state. And I'm speaking for myself, because obviously I haven't talked to my fellow board members, but my understanding from my discussions with Megan, again, I might be out of date, is that we are going to, we are planning to succeed in preserving, if there are 3 dwelling units on a lot, a year-round occupancy on the middle size dwelling. So I'm just a little hesitant making decisions that, are not reversible, especially tonight when we're about, we don't have a full board. We don't have the ADU bylaw in front of us about the 2 versus 3 lots.
So
Well, again, 2 lots, the house has to be torn down.
That there's.
I mean, that's it. The house has to be torn down, and that's
Well, 3
not-
lots, the house is going to be torn down
No,
too.
only a piece. And that's what I wanted to get to
Yeah,
at
I
the
mean,
end,
that's
when we get past all this.
I think that's also speculative.
Well, if it's an A&R, it's cutting
could-
it
it
down
could
the
be
middle and making
moved.
2 skinny lots.
We can't, I don't think we can make a decision based on that, because it could also be, well, it's just a lot of speculation. I guess I'm just reacting to the fact that we went down a certain course, and I understand everything that, and I'm not arguing with anything that's been said tonight, but we went down a certain course with the view of having a benefit for the year-round community. And that is now not being offered, and we can't demand it. So it's really a different scenario that we're looking at, in my opinion.
Well, if
Okay,
I may,
so-
if I may,
Is Christie
Dave is
still
one.
on? Okay, go ahead, Dave.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, regardless, he can always default back to the A&R and get 6 dwelling units on that property. So, and yeah, and I'm not convinced. I mean, listen, we need to act upon this. And even if the new ADU stuff passes, it's still a year away from being approved by the AG. So we won't really have that tool in our toolbox, and we certainly can't have the applicant sitting around for a year. So we need to resolve this with the tools we have.
Well, we don't have to resolve it now. The action deadline is April.
But that we still won't have the tools that we need in April.
I interject quickly, not to cut anybody off, but I think this will answer this portion of the question very quickly. So the board already approved an approval required on this, effectively putting a zoning freeze in place for 8 years. That wasn't our intent at the time, but if any zoning changes at ADUs happen in April this year, next year, 2 years from now, the property is technically still frozen under the zoning in place today. So regardless of any future changes, because there's now a zoning freeze in place, anything you change later won't impact this.
Just a quick question there, Dan, through you, Chair. So the zoning freeze is on the R5, correct? Because that's the underlying zoning
He
for
meant the
this neighborhood?
uses, what's allowed.
In the bylaws.
No, I'm just checking
That's correct.
on,
Whatever zoning's in place at the time is what's frozen. It's R5, but in this case, if changes were to be made to dwelling types,
understand.
ADUs,
Yeah,
whatever.
that's the part,
it would
not
be
the
relevant.
actual zoning of the lot size. He's
no,
talking
I was
about,
just,
yep.
Yeah.
because that area was RC2 and at the beginning of
Oh.
Nantucket, we had the RC2 thing. So I just want to make
Yeah.
sure we're in
He's
the R5.
talking about 2 different zoning freezes type scenarios. Freezing the R5 isn't what he was actually referring to. He was referring to the uses that are allowed on that, in R5 now before this.
Right.
We may make some changes with the town meeting with this to clean up what the state has done to us with this ADU.
Right.
Which I
I
give
just,
is a whole nother conversation, but
Yeah,
that's what he's talking
I
about.
just don't think that would, well, is there anyone who wants to speak in the public hearing?
Yep, Christy Ferrantella's hand is back up as
Okay.
well.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. I probably-
No, go ahead. I,
Hi, 5 Knobsco Way, Sharon Ames. My question is, so as Nat said, 2 lots, 3 lots. Does the house that's there right now have to be moved or demoed no matter what? Will
Not-
that house stay there?
The house as it sits right now under this plan has to be adjusted and moved on the property. It's not
So
being demoed.
you're saying that the present owner is going to build herself a new home on one of those 2 or 3 lots?
Nope, it's my
No.
understanding the owner wants to keep their house and adjust it on the property and stay there.
So the house that's there right now will be sliced and diced. Is that
reconfigured, whatever
Is
the
that what
word
the
they want to
plan is?
It'll be
use, but
reconfigured
it's
to
not
stay on the
getting torn
property.
down.
to stay on the property?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
So just to
Yeah,
follow up on
okay.
that, the reconfiguration would then take into consideration the newly created side and front and rear setbacks, correct? Which I believe
Yeah.
is
It
5
has to
feet and
comply
10
with-
feet,
With
right?
the zoning.
I'm just looking at what's there.
Yeah.
And if you're going to readjust, I'm just, like she said, you're slicing and dicing and you're going to have to do more of it if you have to create those side yard setbacks. So, and then I probably have something to say, as you all have heard, but I want to say it again.
Okay, so do you want to come
So-
back up after? You're ready or no? I'm
Oh,
sorry.
yeah, it doesn't matter to me
No,
when I
we-
say it, because it's,
whatever you
it's
wanna
the
do.
same thing I think you guys have heard. I'm a little torn between the precedent that's set in the neighborhood, right? Because so many of these lots have gone to R5, and I think I said it, another one, I think there's at least 12 lots there that all have gone to R5. So this scenario can happen on all 12 lots, right? So to me, it's a matter of what, given that situation, what is better for the neighborhood, right?
R10.
Well, I know that.
I'm just saying it.
I've
because it's
said
true,
that from the beginning,
not
but that's
because I
beside the
want to
point
or
at this
not.
time. So either way, you end up with the potential six dwelling units, whether it's the 2 or the 5. The thing I have about the 5,000 square foot lot in this area is people have a lot of cars in this area. And if you have a 5,000 square foot lot and you have 5 or 6 cars, let's say, because I know the average is 4 per property up and down Appleton, right? So if it shrinks the lot in a 5,000 square foot situation to reduce parking, and we end up with all the parking problems that are everywhere else. And I know this one lot isn't going to create that situation, but this situation times 12 is going to. Now, my solution, of course, is not anyone's favorite. I would say you cut off Knobsco Way at Appleton Road and you create a new roadway going out to Essex. And from there, they would have an option on going down Essex, Comet Ave, or Comet Road, right? So there would be a greater ability in an emergency situation to get that many people out. But I know it's a pie in the
You want
sky.
to make connectors? I love talking about connectors.
Well, as long as it's
But
not on
that's
my
not what this
road,
hearing is about.
right? It's just like cut off my road
I
piece
know,
and then put it back
yeah,
on. But so I find, as not an exact butter, but we all share the exact same road. I'm up in the air as to which way it goes. I mean, if it's 3 and it's restricted to single family homes, and then someone may decide or may not decide to build a secondary unit, maybe that's better. It's hard. I'm just
No,
empathizing
I
with
hear
your
what you're saying,
situation,
Campbell.
but
And I could talk about this till 1 a.m. this
well,
stuff.
I don't,
And I don't want to
I'm
do
not
that,
interested, but I
this
appreciate it.
application is what's before us, but as far as the neighborhood and how we've changed and made less density, but didn't put forward an R10 article, 15 years ago.
I know.
Existing properties in this neighborhood were built wherever they felt like building, just like Cooper Farm Road. It's just, these places are ripe for redevelopment. This road is. There's no
That's
question
right.
about
And
it.
so what I'm
And
saying is that
I
this is precedent
don't
setting
think-
as to how it's redeveloped.
I understand that,
right?
but it's legal. It's legal. Okay, this is what we're dealing with. So I want to get to Christie because I want to say something to try to make some kind of positive outcome before we continue this public hearing to when we have a full board, because that's what we're going to do. I can
Okay.
see that. So Christie, can you go ahead now? I'm sorry you're there still.
Hi, Christy Ferrantella. I just wanted to kind of touch on the
Christie,
October
can
20th.
I say something really, kind of weird? People in the
Sure.
room probably don't know what your job is. The housing director for
yes.
the town of Nantucket. I just don't want anyone to not know that. So
Sorry.
it's important to know.
Yep, Christy
what your job is.
Ferrantella, housing director for the town.
Well, I'm just trying to be,
I just was reflecting back on the October 20th meeting when it was approved. And as Hillary stated, I felt like the board was moving towards approving the AR plan approval approval required plan based on getting a community benefit out of it. And since that has shifted, I'm just wondering if there's a need to vote tonight, or if there should be any more consideration. I worked with the applicant and went over a lot of, she reached out to the housing office and went over a lot of options around covenant lots and year-round deed restrictions and the pilot program. And I just felt like there was a lot of opportunities there to come to an agreement on something. And then last, I was just wondering if there was anything in the original AR approval where the planning board had approved any waivers, because I couldn't find the minutes from that meeting, that the waivers were approved because we thought there was going to be year-round housing.
Yeah. I'm
Okay,
sure there were
so you've
waivers.
talked to the applicant, Christie?
Yes.
This is good. See, you make it so I don't have to say all kinds of stuff because you've already done it with her. The possibilities here, just because we can't really require the year-round restriction doesn't mean it can't happen through collaborative efforts afterwards, as far as the approval process goes. So that's important, okay? And Dan, being the applicant's surveyor and engineer, he can't say that, because that's just not how things work. This has to be done a different way, because we don't have the ability legally, as Dave said, to put restrictions on something that we can't put on. Okay. The only thing that we've been able to do at real lots is take stuff away, not put stuff in. So this is important that we continue this with that discussion that you just said you had. And hopefully at some point there can be a restriction to these. This isn't going to happen tomorrow. This isn't going to just like all of a sudden tomorrow morning, this place is all done. It's not going to happen. So there's a lot of time to solve this. And this could be part of something to help this neighborhood as well. Okay. As we move forward, as Dave said at that meeting in October, and with the people from the neighborhood that are here, 4 of you, I think, and Campbell's kind of in the neighborhood, sort of. This is reminding me of Bayberry Lane. Same thing. Everybody wanted R40 until everybody didn't want R40. And I guarantee you, if we brought an article to change the zoning to R10, there would be pushback. So having something that we can require year-round ownership for one dwelling out of whatever, or a covenant lot, or some kind of way to do it, because the future is going to happen on this, in this area. I mean, it's going to happen over time, one lot at a time. So with that said, Christie, appreciate your point that you brought up, that you talked to her. That's good. That's great. We just don't have all the tools to do what we all want to do. We just don't have them legally. Hillary, that's the problem. Okay,
May I
go
say
ahead.
something?
Yep.
Yeah. I just want to say for the record, and the meeting record, that I agree with Christie. We did grant waivers and we did go down this path with that understanding. And it's absolutely, I'm not challenging at all the right of the owner to change her mind. She can do that. But we can, I guess, change our mind to, or not grant the special permit. And I understand the sensitivity about the house. I understand the sensitivity about not wanting to see two side-by-side long, narrow lots that are not attractive and would require this house to be not demolished. I also don't think that would be attractive for the owner.
Right.
But
It's not
what
what she
might be
wants.
attractive for the owner is a two lot rear lot subdivision, which we haven't talked about, which also would be an option. So I just wanted to put that out, that a 2-lot rear lot subdivision is an option. We're not really choosing between 2 long, narrow side-by-side A&R plan and this plan.
So
And I do think that
creating a big lot.
they can move the house. I mean, I
Move
don't
the
know. We don't have to
house
get
and
into
make-
it. I hope the owner will continue to work with
This
Christie,
isn't
but I do
Surfside.
think we need to continue this.
Yeah.
And unless anybody else has anything to say, I'd like to make a motion to, did you have something else you want to say, Dan?
No, I think I've heard from the board and I can certainly go back to talk to everybody about it again. So I hear what you're saying. So why don't I request a continuance at the February meeting?
Okay,
We'll regroup, come back to you and see if we can't get to a better place.
thank you. Okay, I make a motion to continue this to the, oh, sorry, Campbell.
Just on what you were just talking about with a 2-lot. That is, years ago, what I had proposed was a 10,000 square foot, allowing for a 5,000 square foot covenant lot. And that could be achieved through this situation.
Okay, thank you, Campbell. So I make a motion to continue to February 9th.
Second.
Is there a second, Dave?
Second.
All those in favor, Hillary,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
the chair votes aye. Thank you for.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry for, this is just how it works. Okay. All right. So we know our meeting schedule. We kind of went over at the beginning with all the continuing stuff. So we just want to go over some of this.
Okay.
Is that, other business? I wasn't even thinking about that right now. So sorry about that. I'm just looking at making sure we all know where we're going because there's a lot going on.
Well,
So
the meeting on Thursday, it's a hybrid meeting, and the NP and EDC meeting beforehand, is that going to happen? And is it going to be
Yep.
also hybrid?
Nope, the MP and EDC meeting is going to be Zoom only
Zoom.
from 3 to 4.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
yeah, we gotta get.
That'll be posted in the morning. I sent it down after 2 o'clock today, so they should post that at 10.
Okay,
Thursday at what
I
time?
will have some materials for you
Oh, yes,
by noon.
by noon tomorrow.
Yeah.
What time is Thursdays?
So Thursday's planning board meeting is at 4:30 in the
Yeah.
meeting trailer and via Zoom. And that meeting is posted already. It has just the warrant articles and I just sent an updated posting down for the 2 minor modifications.
Thursday trailer, I got it. Yep. And then the
And then all
MPGC meeting
planning
is
board
at
members
3
have
on Zoom.
on Zoom. And I'll send information about that out tomorrow.
That means you have to.
You know,
Okay.
since we're talking about the NP, about the letter, I mean, we wouldn't be compelling anybody to have a meeting. I mean, we can't compel a joint meeting.
I think we should discuss it at the NP and EDC meeting.
Yeah, we could, well, the letter will go before then, but yeah.
Yes, but if we want to do a supplemental letter, I think.
Why don't we put it on the
NP and
agenda?
EDC.
I
So
was
we'll-
actually gonna
yeah.
suggest that.
We're
but I
gonna
didn't
talk to Abby
wanna-
about that.
Yeah,
All right.
okay.
Okay, so. How you doing? Sorry.
I think we're done.
Are you okay with all this? How you got yourself into?
Can I make a motion to adjourn?
I guess so, yes.
Okay, motion to adjourn?
Second, Dave?
I guess.
I know you're so
Have
comfortable.
I sighed? How many times have I
Dave-
sighed tonight?
Dave's been having a pedicure.
I do it
while
better.
we're-
It's my new shirt.
My Manny and Petty.
Okay, all those in favor for adjournment? Hillary,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
and the acting chair votes aye. Thank you, and wish Joe's mom the best
SPD, yes.
wishes possible.
God bless.
Thank you. Bye.